competition, and this is what they were great at. And in this day and age, the way footy's being played this year, this becomes even more important. The game is going at a frenetic pace. Collingwood were the outlier against St Kilda last week. They took some heat out of the game. They slowed it down. I don't think the Crows are going to be slowing down for anyone today. So bang, get it forward, try and expose the fact that right now Frampton's their only tall defender. They're going to have to lean heavily on Quaynor. They're going to lean heavily on Maynard as well. But I think this is where the opportunity lies for the Adelaide Crows.
I love your enthusiasm, Gary. I can see how you pumped up the big V over there in the west. Jack Rewalt is beside Gary. Jack, Billy Frampton, you see him there in the middle of shot. Who does he go to of the three big boppers? And is it the likes of Quaynor that have to come alongside Maynard and possibly play undersized?
Yeah, look, I think Billy certainly probably has to get the tallest and the best player in Riley Fieldthorpe. Undersized in the other two positions with Quaynor and Maynard, but I think Darcy Cameron probably holds the key to the defence for Collingwood tonight. Predominantly he does his work centre back and he gets back in the hole in front of those big key forwards. So he'll have his work rate cut out tonight to get back there and help out, and hopefully he can generate as well. So the young key forwards, or the young ruckman, sorry, for Adelaide need to get forward and make sure they are used on offence from an Adelaide point of view.
Yeah, Craig McRae pointed to that in his chat with you, Howard. He said, what do you expect from those two young men? And he said, challenge him. Challenge the big fella. He's going to get forward. He's going to get behind Darcy Cameron. He's going to get the hole. He's going to try and give them a chop out. Challenge him. Go forward. We've seen Ruckman already this year kick goals and hit the scoreboard. And young Toby Murray's going to get that opportunity at some stage. So, brothers, again, out here for the Adelaide Crows, you're going to go back to the Jarman brothers. Maybe there's one in between that have homework. The Crouches. Nicely done, you have.
They'll be up and about in Henty, the home of the Swampies, where the Murray boys come from. A little dot between Wagga and Albury. And here is Jordan Dawson. Does he get some attention paid to him by Perriman? Well, let's go out in the middle and see who wins the toss.
Your forward from the edge, Jordan. When you're ready, mate, we appreciate it. Tail. Thank you.
Maynard wins the toss, as you can see on the screen. Cam Mooney is on the boundary with us tonight. Come in, Moons.
Where else would you rather be at the MCG? Hey, what a cracking night it is for footy. A little bit swirly at the moment, but absolutely stunning night here in Melbourne. Look, spoke with Matty Nix about Nick Dacos, arguably the most influential player in the game. What's he going to do with him tonight, boys? That's going to be the big question, isn't it? Just looking at him here, these are a couple of live shots just from before, just getting a little bit of stretching going on. But this is a team that Nick Dacos loves to play against. We know he's coming off a 41 possession game last week, but he loves playing the Crows, averages 30 and about 8 clearances as well. What do they do with him tonight, Gaz and Jack? Do they tag him, or do you run and just let him go and just see what happens as the game unfolds?
We'll let him go at your peril, I say. So we're going to have the eyes on him straight off the bounce, and we'll see. It might take 3 or 4 minutes to work out exactly what they serve up. But it is, it's a beautiful proposition, this game tonight. I think the Collingwood Footy Club have played in a preliminary final. They rolled their side. The Adelaide Crows, the undisputed #1 team in the home and away season. They went out in straight sets and didn't win a quarter in that final series last year. So pressure's on, no question about that. Let's see how they bounce back.
You can see there Darcy Cameron. He's going to be critically important to the defence and certainly the contest in the middle part of the ground tonight. But he goes up against young McAndrew and Murray, a second gamer and a man on debut. So McAndrew is a very, very tall unit. First hands on the ball is going to be critically important.
Nick's in the middle.
Looks like Berry has gone to Dacos.
Shelley's in there as well.
210 centimetres, young Lachlan McAndrew in game 3 up against Darcy Cameron. Let's get things going Saturday night football. He does pretty well, the tall young man. Long, works hard.
On the ball, incorrect disposal.
It's a good tackle, so a nice start by McAndrew. His hand pass is not that sharp, so puts teammates under a little bit of pressure. Berry comes through without it. Now Collingwood. Long ball deep forward. It's a big tall defenders. There's one of the Murrays. The elder, his brother on debut, but the chain of hand pass to Worrell. Now Miller. Just a short chipping ball to Berry.
Just can report in that there's no one within 25 metres of Nick Dacos.
Gilthorpe gets his first opportunity. There's Josh Dacos. Back to Quaynor. Makes the Shane Warne stand wing. Membry competes in the air. Back towards Long. Roan Steele in the vicinity. And Keys. Any team he hasn't kicked a goal against is Collingwood for Ben Keys.
Quaynor's gone to Walker, so that means Maynard's got Fogarty and Frampton the big job on Thilthorpe.
Pokes it forward towards the 50. There's the skipper. Marking with his back to play. Centering ball. It's a good ball too. There's men out.
He was sitting there for an eternity, Cummings. Absolute eternity. He was sitting there on his own.
It's exactly what we spoke about with Jordan Dawson. It's one of the first clearances of stumbles, but the ability to get forward for Dawson, we know at 193 plus centimetres that he can be an aerial impact, and he's shown that previously. But he's also got that lethal left foot, and to switch the ball across the ground like that, that's why Jordan Dawson needs to be getting predominantly possessions ahead of the centre.
24 matches last year for Isaac. Kicked 7 goals. Signing that 6-year deal to come across. Strikes it pretty nicely. Close with the opener.
So this is what's really important about the Dawson mark. You know that Cameron's going to sit in the hole, and sometimes the ball's going to be put on his head. Now, he's a magnificent intercept marker, we know that. Smart player, Dawson. Just watch him read this ball in flight here. And he set Cameron, he just floats across in front. So engage the number 1 interceptor who goes down and sits in the hole. Time your run, float across, and then, wow, what about the kick?
It's also a really good exponent of how to use the man standing on the mark. Cameron got stuck there. So a great start for Adelaide. What's been made of what happened in September last year for them. A loss in a final against this team, Collingwood. And want to right a few wrongs in front of a big Collingwood contingent. A really important early goal.
Love Rochelle in the middle, next to Nick Dacos.
An eye on Pendlebury for us down there and tells us when he's getting ready to get into the game. Moons straight out of the clearance again. Down towards Walker. Quaynor is going to be outside. Immediately dishes off to Pedler. Sets it all the way, but just drags it to the right-hand side.
I'm giving the gig to Berry, Gaz. I think he's going to try and run with him as closely as he can.
I love it. Good luck to the young man.
Houston. Low clearing ball in the path of McCreary. Battle with Miller up. Rose getting plenty of hands on the footy early. Rochelle side again. And the contest is hard between Houston and Fogarty.
It's a good win. So almost got his hands on it. Walker, the first contest he got. I think we know they're outside. Now look at that matchup. That's not too bad. Maynard and Fogarty. We know Maynard's the ultimate competitor, so Fogarty's going to have to earn his kicks.
Started well, the young ruckman. Neil Bullen. It's a dangerous ball. Quaynor takes front position. Marks well in front of Walker.
Very lucky there. Alex Gilbullen running into that stoppage by himself.
Maynard to Houston. Started the season nicely. Back to the captain, Maynard, without more. Downfield. Goey marked anyway. He stayed 200, 1-on-1 inside 50. They can get it late quickly. Josh Dacos tries to do just that. Right in the pocket. They stay. Nicely. Good crisp hands.
Yeah, that's really attacking football there from Collingwood. We mentioned 140 uncontested marks, last week. But just the ability to come through the middle. You get it into good user's hands. Jordan Goey plays on quick. And an excellent handball receive through the centre part of the ground. Josh Dacos, lovely kick into the left footer.
Game number 200 for McStay. Plays on. And his best effort.
Missed 2 grand finals, Dan McStay, so he's hung in. Plays game 200. He's kicked 186 goals, so he presents. He's not a massive goal kicker.
It's important, though, with Mychek leaving Collingwood, that McStay's role changes up and he evolves into the player that they thought they were getting when they traded for him.
They lead 56 goals. Bobby Hill not there, he kicked 20.
Required distance back to Berry. The people to the footy early, just massages it around the boundary. And on the foot.
Good forward pressure from Collingwood.
Here comes Pendlebury, boys. He's on now.
First goal was from the back half, so good forward pressure. See what Adelaide, if Adelaide have got anything planned for Scotty Pendlebury.
So onto the arena earlier than last week. They drive it inside. Big marking contest out the back. Opportunity for Bond. Takes a little bounce. Chips it into the middle, not enough on a Houston turnover.
Great defence from Collingwood there, though, protecting the far side of the ground. That's why Bond had to come back through the middle there. Tried to invent a kick. Good intercept.
Houston drops it about 30 from home. Membry brings it to ground. Might have ridden a little bit high. Berry, who looks supremely fit.
He's going to have to be.
Good marking contest. Coming, kick the opener.
Off the foot.
It might have been off the boot. Indeed, Allen.
Last touch, last disposal. Stand.
Lasso comes out. They immediately play on.
Stand.
Miller, defensive
50
flank.
metres.
Dacos there that's backed off the mark, called stand by the umpire, wanting to get back and help out to defend. Might come into range here. No.
Stand there, mate. Me. Stand.
He's got a further short option wide if he wants it.
Yours. Me.
Decides to poke it into the pocket and it works out pretty well. Neil Bullen was off. Mark played.
I reckon he thought it was touched.
You heard him call play on, and the closest umpires paid the mark. So a little confusing. The smart kick though. So they were covered deep. Cameron had pushed into the hole, so they kicked the three-quarter kick.
Premiership player at Melbourne. Second year at the Crows. Return of 17 goals last season. Strikes it well. Adelaide get the opening two.
You might have another look at it, see whether the audio, I swear I heard the umpire say play on, and that the closest one decided that it wasn't touched. We'll have a look at it here and be definitive for you, but it's a good start. It's a good start to hit the scoreboard twice before Collingwood vote. Let's have a listen.
Yours. Me. Play on.
Oh, Gaz.
Play on off hands was one call.
Those ears haven't gone, Gaz. Well done.
A matter of time. But let's see if we can see a finger here. Looks like it's carried Houston there.
Really liking the three-quarter kick and just that sort of punch kick that's coming into modern footy as well. The big high bomb sort of allows the defence to come in. You think with the undersized defence that Collingwood have, they want to get numbers to the contest. A nice flat kick gets it in quick.
Skipper straight through the middle. Stripped of the footy. Collingwood fans wanted holding the ball. Umpire wasn't interested. Another 4A forward.
Oh, hands.
He's looked good on the lead. Walker. And he sprays that one.
Warren size early for Collingwood. Already Adelaide have double the contested possessions and possessions, so getting their hands on the ball and winning it at the coal face.
They've won every clearance so far, Jack. They've won 4 clearances, 3 of them for centre bounce.
Play on.
Caroline, Jack Rewalt, Cameron Mooney, Saturday night football. Taken out in front. Good ball. Collingwood keen to move the ball into the hands of the champ, Dacos. Now Cameron. Now sending it further forward. The ball once again in the chain. This is a good build-up. McStay just too far out. One quick movement. In the end, on the short legs turnover, we look for penalty. And Adelaide could kill them here on the turnover.
Play on. Yours.
They back Walker with Maynard in a one-on-one again. Much halved.
Probably holding the ball, they're taking on the tackler. 5 Collingwood players around there.
So Shelley goes at rest. Starting on the ball. He's the deepest forward for the Adelaide Crows. Quayne has got him.
McCreary. Nice little 1-2. Gets it back to Speedster. Check side inside 50. Too much on it. Murray and Worrell over the top of Schultz. Splits it wide out to the runners. Dashing after it. Michael Annie.
Yours.
Kicks to space. Another one-on-one. Good battle too. Michelle and Quayner. Off the boot of Dacos. A little hand on it.
He's got to get a little bit high. Schultz, we know Schultz loves to work up the ground and wants to be involved, puts great pressure on, but he left Worrell alone inside 50 at the moment. So they've evened up now inside their forward half. They'll get a bit of representation. They just were outnumbered badly last time they went inside their forward 50, the Pies.
Adelaide plus 13 in disposals.
Big fella's having a crack. He's having an impact. He'd be saying, look at the clearance numbers. I should have been in earlier.
Toby Murray, 200 centimetres tall. Had leg issues last year. And the brother of Nick from up the farm. Big boy. Cameron, Schultz, diving mark. Got away from him to go. First impact. Dacos to streak and pass. Turned it over. Miller up. Chain of hand pass again. Neil Bullen had a lot of it early. Hits 55, keeps it low. Neil Bullen.
Poor. He had numbers out. He had Pedler running forward on his own to his right. They're looking dangerous. Their rebound's really solid from their half-back line. Cumming was the one that peeled off and took Dacos, so it might be a tag team job here. He's too good for one.
Neil Bullen, 3 disposals, but he's making them count. Fainer lobs it down to Cameron. That's pretty well mowed. A harder contest. Now Lipinski, outside of the foot. Stover runs it. Worrell. Got time to go back to Millerer. And now the skipper.
It's too easy back here. That's Worrell again. So Schultz not getting the contest. Worrell sits off him, comes up on his own, gets an uncontested ball. Now they go back outside their D50. It's just a bit easy.
Move it on, play on.
Cook. Bang 31.
Great work, Bradford Tex Walker. Comes all the way out from centre half forward there to take that mark.
It's such a good kick. We saw one touch Aaron earlier on. This one turned over in the middle of the ground. Nick Dacos. He gets in the 1-2. Rare fumble. Away from side bottom. Back to Dawson. Plenty of turnovers coming off the Pies handball chains. Shank forward.
Great hit.
Miller up. Bit of space in the middle of the MCG. Delays the hand pass.
Big contest here.
Archie in the new colours. Boston Murray and Cradle managed to get the big ball to the ground.
Yeah, good to see Archie involved early in new colours for Adelaide. That was a big contest. 2 players coming at it hard.
Pretty sharp start to this one. Cameron tries to get his hands above the tackle. Lipinski, the purple boots at the penalty, passing Michael Tuck, second most AFL games of all time now. To Crisp, who continues that remarkable record of consecutive games. Takes a bounce. Oh, it's off the instep. Might work out for Schultz. Attacks it. Nice gather. Back into space. Archie. Peakling. With the instep. Shelley runs into a really big tackle. You're not going to get through too many Maynard. Advantage play.
This is modern footy. Turnover to turnover.
Tex with a bit of body on side bottom. Keys looking for his first goal against the Pies. Did you play much against Michael Tuck?
I did, yep. I did. Superstar. He wanted to keep playing too. He wanted to. He thought he had more footy in him. Great tackle, Maynard. Gee, they're untidy, the Magpies at the moment. They've turned it over in their forward half so many times. Just been really un-Collingwood like. Great pressure from Adelaide.
Played quite a few in the twos, didn't you?
He did, yeah. My word, nearly 100, I think.
Yeah, I don't think Kendall's has played too many in the VFL.
I was going to say, guys, don't underestimate the pressure that's going on down here at the moment. It is enormous.
To go, just over the top of him.
This bloke's having a field day.
Good tackle, really good tackle. Came right at him. Jack Bullard gets the resulting free kick.
Well, they needed it. So this is their 7th inside 50 they haven't scored. We're seeing really high scores for inside 50 over the course of this round. And for the 7th occasion they went in, and they probably should have cleared it, Adelaide, to be perfectly honest, and they needed something a little bit special. It's just a little handball to ground here. Made it difficult then for Michael Annie, and then the tackle's late for Buller. So they need this for the Pies.
Hasn't kicked a goal for the Pies. Across from Sydney. Finished the season strongly. Played the last 9 games. Kicked 11 for the Swans. Right on 50 just to settle things down. Geez, a thumping kick, Buller, but loses all accuracy going for the yardage.
So back on that one there. Jack Buller out on the full. Collingwood's forwards probably just a little bit too far away from the ball for mine. Need to get up the ground, create the space out the back to then come back and lead at the football.
Stand.
First touch for Toby Murray.
Yours, mate. Play it.
Gives it to his brother. Waxing like the backyard, Jacko.
Play on.
Archie, little step. Berry tries something similar. Good work, Dave.
How long since Darcy Cameron hasn't had a hit out to advantage halfway through a quarter before he goes to the bench? So that's a win. That's a win for the young boys.
It is a huge win.
Mixed days taking over in the ruck here, boys.
Toby Murray and McAndrew, the 2 Adelaide ruckmen. 2 games to McAndrew, the first game for Toby.
Off the shin, still side bottom there. That's a new free kick in play.
Saligo plays on. Seen much of Riley as yet. With the job.
They look like they're going to mark the footy though, don't they? He and Walker and Fogarty look like they're a chance every time.
Piercing ball inside, coming back with a flight. Spoiling it was Perryman. Himself in the right spot.
I'm not sure it was possible, Jack, but Thornthorpe looks like he's put on more size. He looks huge.
They were strong dukes there, Moons. Certainly a big frame of a man. That's a big job for Billy Frampton tonight.
Just looking at Josh Worrell sitting off the pack here. He's had 7 touches already. He's been a thorn. Real issue for Collingwood.
Pinsky also coming back with a flight. Chris, Quainer, Frampton. Membry over the top of him. The Crows free.
Worrell again.
Murray. Stays dropped back. Frampton. And work it out well.
I don't know whether they're really protecting their back half here, but they can't get past Josh Worrell at the minute.
Maynard. Membry. The foot jump. Worrell had plenty of the footy, as Gary pointed out. She didn't really get an opportunity. Another one for the number 24. High ball inside 50. They come from the side. Walker just steams through the pack.
He was in traffic, getting another crack at it. Let's see if they can even numbers up over the footy. So Schultz is the nominal opponent. Well, now actually Dacos is the nominal opponent. I know, so Michael Landy's got Dacos. Worrell's still 3 behind the footy.
6 to Houston, 5 for Nick Dacos, 10 for Worrell, 9 for Miller.
We're taking 13 uncontested marks. Adelaide on the back of 140. Collingwood on the back of 140 last week. Collingwood pressure. Adelaide pressure. Just closing gaps too. Been really impressed with the defenders. Been able to close. No hit up uncontested marks in their forward half.
Just watching Worrell, guys. He's got a man. He's just not going anywhere near. He's just putting himself in the perfect position.
Big stages out bodies. Murray. Now side bottom. Aggressive, works out. Houston pumps it inside 50. It's a touch ball this time. Over the back of Steele, but another one for Worrell. Laird needs to get rid of it. Was he sharp? He was.
Great chase though. It's a great chase. Put some pressure on. We've got to try and find some pressure in their front half.
Good speed there from Wayne Steele. Made it real quick.
Maynard assesses things. High entry. They got the answers back there with the skipper.
No, they look like they've got no system going forward at the moment. They just haven't, and the pressure again, from an Adelaide point of view, meant they haven't had real good looks going forward. They have been dominated by the Adelaide defence. 9 times they've been inside their forward 50, Collingwood, and haven't scored.
That's our 5. That's our 5. Yours.
You look at the forward half turnovers. That's 14 already to Collingwood. That's the way Craig McRae likes to play. No score yet.
Bond. Spreads it out wide. Murray. And Membry. Chisels it at the full.
It's actually Dan Houston that's playing off Josh Worrell at the moment. Well, they're both free, so both systems at the moment trying to pick up to allow free behind the ball. Houston gets it here. Worrell sitting free at the other end.
Six disposal of Nick Dacos. And it'll be for a second touch.
Take that right now, the Pies. Try and set up, get some support behind the footy, try and make something happen. So they're 10th inside 50.
Holding Collingwood.
Goes to Cameron against Lockie McAndrew.
211 centimetres. Big Lockie McAndrew is a big boy. And started reasonably well, the duo, against one of the great ruckman in the game today.
Ruckman stuck on the mark here as well, outside 50.
Just interesting down here, guys. Jamie Elliott's finally come onto the ground about, 25 minutes into the game.
Right. Looks to drop it into the pocket. There is Jamie Elliott.
He's an interesting person to use in that role, Jamie Elliott. Obviously, you mentioned all the goals that are out. Gary, he was right up the top there. Is the free kick. Cameron just swimming past the arm there. Free kick should be there. Jamie Elliott drops this one. Coming on 5 minutes in the quarter.
Collingwood pressing. Miller up. Spirals it. Nicely gathered in by James Peatling, the former Giant. Phil Thorpe.
Got the numbers here if they want to keep running with the ball.
Really making Neil Bullen earn it. Now to come in, kick the opener. That's the third time they've dumped it out before going forward, the Crows.
They kicked really well this first quarter. They were up at around 80%. Up until then, they have sprayed a few going forward. Just not that inclined to go long to an outnumber, so try and keep it a bit skinny.
Will Parker, former leg spinner. Shelley. And another one out the full. Must be something drawing the Sheridan over there.
You can see Frampton and Josh Dacos had a lot of options on their own at that stage, so that doesn't excuse you for kicking out the full twice in a row, but they're just trying to keep it skinny, not really wanting to turn the footy over.
Parker resets again. Take two. Murray cuts the ball. Oh, big fly, but there's a whistle.
They guys yet to have an effective touch in their forward 50. Got to make something happen. They've been in there 10 times. They didn't hit him on the full jack. That's been 50 metres, isn't it?
That's better use from Collingwood. Just coming inside, giving yourself the whole ground.
Hendry's gone down and made Worrell accountable finally. Slow, patient build-up.
Now they accelerate Maynard again, take it down after he got rid of the footy into the path of memory. Elliott might have stolen off him in the end. McCreary, side bottom, tries to step through, back to McCreary. Sends a high ball, it'll land about 20 from home. Elliott in from the side, fisted away. Lipinski trying to get a hand pass out the back to DeGoey. Was chopped off. Chance for McCreary, shanked.
Well, the Adelaide pressure in their back half has been fantastic just to make sure the Collingwood don't get an easy shot. They haven't scored yet. They've had their opportunities, but the defence behind Adelaide's been fantastic.
Stand.
Shelley will think his way through it. DeGoey chopped it off. Another opportunity for the Pies to go inside 50.
They'll be a bit creative here. They keep going to Buller, they keep going to memory.
Punches it forward. And the Crows defenders coming back with a flight. It was Bond this time to cut off the lead.
A lot of those kicks, guys, are coming from sort of outside 70 as well, so you sort of set yourself up for the rebound. I'd love to see them try and kick short into the middle of the ground, open up both pockets so they can attack 360 going inside 50.
12 inside 50s apiece, 2-3 to fail to score. And just threw it out the back. Here's an opportunity, but they blaze away again off the boot of Lipinski.
Talking about the high-scoring nature of footy in 2026, as I said, Hawthorn with 21, the Dogs 21 goals today, 20 to the Swans last week, and 19 to the Suns. They've kicked the point in the first quarter, the Pies.
You've got a Bronxy for it too, I think, Gary.
Yeah, from 12 insides.
Going back with a flight, Maynard with a score of Peatling.
But no damage done at the other end, Jack, so they've only given up 15 points at the other end of the ground. So no real harm done. They've just got to get some sort of system working when they do go in.
And the side bottom has to get away from Berry and does. Goes up towards 50. Worrell. And a great start off the boot. Coming.
So Laurel's corresponding at the other end on that occasion was Bill Wade or Parker, who was the real deepest defender. So just trying to get that matchup right.
Ball was deep. That's a beautiful kick. Just gets away from DeGoey though. Like he was going to swallow it. Now the Crows. Benton's back in the hole, so they can't afford to go long.
It's just at the moment, both sides happy to roll numbers behind the ball and set their offense up from half back.
Coming in Neil Ball, goal scorers for Adelaide. Just managed to get a foot on it with Soligo. Now the Pies. They load up through Schultz. Tries to place one into the pocket again. It's all Adelaide in defence.
Well, it'll be interesting. What have we got? Just over a minute. We'll be watching the quarter-time huddle and just see this forward line get to work. They haven't had a connection at all in this first quarter. And the fact is they haven't been hurt on the scoreboard too much, but it's been pretty ugly going inside.
Goes.
Up and under ball. Fogarty front position down towards Peatley. Sees something in the form of Phil Ford. Spoiler by Billy Frampton, and Tex just gives him a bit of what for.
I think you mentioned it, Jack. What Collingwood are doing really well is keeping the footy in their half of the ground. So there hasn't been too much transition in the last 5 to 10 minutes. It's just that they haven't made it work for themselves on the scoreboard. What a perfect night it is here in Melbourne for footy.
Side bottom game 3-5-6 into the top 20 of all time. Joins Paul Roos and Bruce Dill tonight on that number. Scrappy little passage.
Dacos is missing a boot at the moment. One way to stop him.
And here's side bottom. Perfectly weighted kick to Schultz. Can they fashion something this time, Collingwood? Just goes deep. And Creary comes in from the side. Worrell had another possession. Berry. Ball under his arm. We've got the numbers. Fogarty brings it to ground. Frampton takes on the tackle.
Really good tackle because they're outnumbered.
Lucky
So,
there.
3-1 there, guys.
I reckon
Great
he takes
tackle.
on the tackle. He could have handballed that one straight up to Dan Houston.
well, it gives them time to even up. It gives them a chance late in the quarter. No chance.
Good start for the Adelaide Crows. They lead it at quarter time here. 2-3-15 to Collingwood, solitary behind. Quarter time here on a magnificent night at the MCG. Perfect autumn evening. The Crows lead it by 14 points at the first break.
All right, folks, there we go. That's quarter time here at the MCG. Adelaide Crows 2-3-15. The Magpies one solitary behind. It's the Crows by 14 points here at quarter time. It's a scrappy old affair here. Both teams, tell you what, making some errors there. Adelaide certainly the better in that opening term, putting the pressure on the Magpies, especially kicking those opening 2 goals. Of course, Adelaide looked pretty sharp there, but shanked the ball 3 times going into their forward line. Out to Bones on the full turnover. And it's just been defensive work from both teams so far. Of course, Collingwood, on the other hand, well, you know what? This is not like Collingwood that we've seen in the past. They're just lacking a little bit of composure all the way throughout the ground, especially going into forward. They're sort of not looking for that short pass. They're just trying to get it in there pretty quick and bombing it long. And it's just setting up for defence of Adelaide just to rebound it out of their D50 pretty quick. I think this game will settle down as the game goes on. We should open up the scoring a little bit more coming in to the second quarter when both teams get to their huddle. The coaches have their words to them and let them know what they need to improve on. Of course, Collingwood, they just look all wayward. No connection there in the forward line for them at the moment. Of course, a little bit of a fumble there from De Goey late, which, well, if there was no fumble, he would have picked it up, snapped it through, but not to be. Quarter time, that's the Crows by 14 points. Let's just have a look at the goal scorers and disposal getters. There's only 2 goals being kicked, and they're both for Adelaide Crows. Alex Neil-Bullen, Isaac Cumming, both single goal scorers there for the Adelaide Crows. That is it. Disposal getters out on the ground. And it's all Adelaide Crows leading the way. 3 players there in double figures. And, of course, as I said, they're all for the Adelaide Crows. Josh Worrell tops the table with 13 disposals. He's had 6 kicks, 7 handballs, 3 marks. Wayne Miller, he's had 12 disposals, 7 kicks, 5 handballs, 3 marks, a tackle, and a clearance. And Rory Laird on 10 disposals with 8 and 2. The best for the Magpies, of course, Ned Long and Dan Houston, both on 8 disposals. So still side bottom the old boy on 7. Hey, Peter, how you doing? How you doing? Welcome in. Nick Dacos, there we go. Unusual to see him down the charts a little bit. He's just had the 7. I'm sure he'll come into the game as the game progresses on this evening. Darcy Cameron on 7 disposals. He's had 6 hit-outs, 5 clearances. Let's just roll on down. Alex Neil-Bullen, as I said, 1 goal, 1, 6 disposals from his 3 kicks, 3 handballs, so he's doing all right. Braden Maynard working hard down back there for the Magpies with his 6 disposals, all kicks for him. Lipinski and DeGoey on 5 disposals, each of 2. Saligo on 5 with Rochelle there and Nick Murray there for the Adelaide Crows as we keep on rolling down there. Josh Dacos just a 5. He's had 3 kicks, 2 handballs. Crisp on 5 as well as we roll on down. Let's check out Adelaide now. James Peatling and Max Michaelani. They both had 4 touches with Calamachi, the Adelaide Crows jumper this evening. Tex Taylor Walker. I tell you what, he's only had 3 disposals, 2 kicks, a handball. He's had a couple of marks, but he does look reasonably sharp, the old boy out there for the Crows. So the Crows will be looking for him to continue on the rest of this game. Scotty Penrell, the old boy, 3 disposals, just 3 kicks, couple of marks. Still need to get into this game a little bit more. Of course, Jamie Elliott coming on late. I don't know why so late in that opening term, yet to touch the ball. And Darcy Fogarty also yet to touch the ball for the Adelaide Crows. All right, folks, there we go. That is the first quarter out of the way. We're going to head back to the commentators and they will take us into the bounce of the ball, which is only a minute away, whereas the Crows by 14 points.
Clips here, just his tap work, absolutely outstanding. Now, around the ground, and just ball-ups around the ground, that's where Cameron's going to lean on him a little bit. And you could see by the end of the quarter he was starting to get a little bit exhausted, McAndrew, but his tap work here in the centre bounce was absolutely outstanding. And this is one of the reasons, Jack and Gary, that I think Adelaide really got on top early. The ball was played in their half on the back of the big fella and his nice tap work.
Well, he's big enough and he's willing. I think that's what you've got to love. And then when he came off, Murray came on and he was really competitive as well. So they'll take that every day. It's a big day in the careers of these young fellas coming to the MCG, taking on Collingwood, and they've acquitted themselves really well. They'd be reasonably happy. I reckon they defended the back half really well, Matthew Nicks, and early in the piece they looked really dangerous going forward, but they left their defensive 50 12 times, Jack, and only got it inside their own forward 51. So Collingwood did a reasonably good job of just stopping the ball movement. It's just when they come back the other way, they haven't been able to make anything of it.
Yeah, time in forward half tells you that 60% of that quarter was in Collingwood's forward half, so they'd be really happy with that, but at the moment they just can't get clear entries. So that scores per inside 50 is down because the ball is spending so much time down there. The numbers aren't dissipating out of their own forward 50 so they can get clean looks. They've been bombing from outside 70 as well, which hasn't given them anything close to goal for close crumbs as well. So some work there for Craig McRae and Collingwood.
Yeah, and now you want to see the adjustment. So that's okay. First quarter's down. There's no damage done on the scoreboard, really. It's only a couple of goals. But now you want to see how they adjust. Josh Worrell has 13 possessions in the back half because Lockie Schultz is going high up the ground and just leaving him on his own. So do they sit there and look at that and go, right, let's make an adjustment, Lockie. You've got to not be so far away, and then see whether that becomes a little bit more dangerous. But Nick hasn't got off the chain. I say that, he's had 7 touches, but he hasn't really got off the chain at this stage. But that's a dangerous thing to say at quarter time. That's the first time, sorry, they only were goalless once last year in the first quarter of the Magpies.
Second term here at the MCG. The Crows lead it by 14 points. The young Crow ruckman starting the game nicely. McAndrew over the top of Cameron. 7 centimetres on him. Another clearance. The boot of Dawson. Shallow entry inside 50. Walker's hands have been good. Spills it this time. Maynard mops up. Out to Lipinski coming after him. Now Peatling. Josh Dacos. Inboard to Parker. Cameron. It's down for Steele. Over the back of him to go. He hasn't been a factor as yet. Buller.
Another centre bounce clearance to Adelaide there. It was great body work from Josh Shelley on Nick Dacos as well. Shelley so important with no Rankin, who would predominantly take those centre bounces, that sort of dynamic type player. It's the evolution in Josh Shelley's game this year.
Pinsky sharks it. It's in the path of Chris. Taps it in front of himself. Berry. Coming back is Steele. By hand. Crisp. Tight in the pocket.
Review underway. Review
sure what he's
complete.
checking for.
In his ankle, suitable across the back of the goal line.
Sure what he's
Ball
checking
being
for.
decision on the scoreboard.
Really at the second row, Gaz.
He must have been unsighted, let's be generous. Because a clear goal and a fantastic goal it was as well. Terrific return.
One of those ones that, Gaz, you sort of kick up the chimney as a bit of a floater and it just rolls around, and next thing you know, you think it's going to go out of bounds and it rolls through the middle. But good build up here from Collingwood. Good to see Jack Chris. He's actually at the stoppage and continues to run forward. We know Chris is one of the great power runners for Collingwood and has been for a long period of time. And Gaz, that is a dead set Shanana floater. Ben Dixon would have loved that one up into the Melbourne sky here amongst the MCG.
Well, they're all worth the same, Jack. Doesn't matter how they go through. And they needed it. They needed to just get a bit of nourishment on the scoreboard, the Pies. Good start.
264th consecutive game for that man, Jack Crisp, and he's on the board. 97th career goal. 264 consecutive games. Quite remarkable.
It is. They haven't got a centre-bounce clearance here. They've got to get the work, the Pies.
He's in the middle now, Crisp. Bit of confidence about him, and he does get that clearance to Cameron. Inboard to Nick Dacos. Look out, Adelaide. And his best effort going forward by Boot. Hudson Cooler now led. Off on run as far as the Pinksy, so good start for Collingwood for the turn.
Another turnover in their forward half.
Pinsky loads it into the pocket. All the Crows fly against each other. Nearly made a mess of that. Bond's not sure what to do. Just straddles the line and gets out of trouble. Miller immediately. Berry. Phil Thorpe, Frampton's been good in the air with the fist. Pegleys had an argument for one high. Ball kept in play. Josh Dacos. Back to Pendlebury. Back into the middle laterally.
That's high five. That's high five. Stay out, Taylor. Me. Stand.
Crisp lifting his side.
This game living in Collingwood's half, Howie. They've got it back on their terms here. They've worked really hard. Been messy going forward, but it stayed in their forward half.
Elliott on a long lead outside through the hands of Buller. Back towards Schultz. Good tackle, Elliott. Schultz again. Nick Dacos. Crisp kicked the first one. That was a cracker. Nick couldn't quite repeat the dose.
Well, that one started online, and unfortunately, just with the curl of the snap around the shoulder from Nick Dacos, hit the post. This is where Adelaide have really struggled. They have not come through the corridor. Only 4% from D50 entry, so always looking wide.
They just need a transition for their confidence, Jack.
That's better up the middle.
And he just pumps it straight down. Maynard had his name on it. The seals off the boot of Murray. Pretty easy in the end. So Collingwood coming out all guns. Lipinski. Pendlebury just backs back. Assesses and hits Houston. Plays on. Does Dan. Little shin ball forward is okay. And in the end it lands in the hands of Rome Steele.
Righto. So it's a building concern for Adelaide, but it's really pleasing for Collingwood. And I love what Houston did then. So both ends of the ground have got a bit of a +1 at times. You can sit back on your heels and just wait for the easy one, or you can get proactive. And he read it really well, got an intercept mark, and this is the resulting shot at goal.
Moved to WA in 2025 to play Waffle, then got picked up mid-season. Kicked one career goal. Added to the tally.
That's the battle with the spare, Gaz, is that whilst Warrels has had a lot of possessions and they've been very deep in the Adelaide defence, the ability to get up the ground from Houston, he's got that long-king ability to get him centre forward.
Shelley Dawson out the back. How we got rid of that in the boundary line Sagan.
It's been a long time since they've had a look at it deep in their forward line, Adelaide. So Phil Phillips now come up. He's up at around the 55, 60 metre mark. Texas, the only player inside 50 at the moment.
And try to grab it. Dropped a bit short. Andrew on the gather. Dawson, Lipinski. Puts it forward just. Houston pinballing around. Shelley. Houston just tried to hand it to Nick Dacos. Lipinski, good tackle.
Only the one inside 50 this quarter, 4 minutes played already. They just can't get it past this mid part of the ground.
They were 4 zip clearances. It's now 11-8 in favour of Collingwood. So they've dominated clearance in the last quarter and a bit.
Look at that pressure number as well.
272 off the charts.
This is a case of Collingwood playing this more consistent brand or slow brand of footy, bringing Adelaide down to their terms.
A couple of Crows watch it fall between them. Murray with a crunching tackle. Neil Bullen, first opportunity to go forward for the term. Rochelli's slight fumble. Miller tries to make up for it, gets a hand free somehow. Pendlebury camped over the top of it. Big ball to be won here. It goes away to the Crows. Miller wobbles it forward to Tex, picks it up cleanly. Forward hand pass. Phil Thorpe, he's a hard man to tackle. Spins around and kicks it. Big answer by the number 7.
I love what Phil Thorpe does here. He picks a footy up and he knows he's going to get tackled, but he just backs himself. This is why he spent time in the gym. He just knew he was going to be tackled by a Collingwood player, but he backed his strength, stand up, strong in the hips. He just shrugs him offside and then goes and kicks the goal. So that was the first time they tried to be a bit more adventurous. Just watch the strength here of Phil Thorpe. So the tackle comes, he knows it, and just shrugs him and then kicks the goal. So they need it badly. But Jack, first time I reckon for a long time they've tried to get a chain of handballs going from the stoppage. They haven't been able to get their hands on it. It was messy, but they got there.
A lot of modern footy now, Gaz, has that big forward handball there. And it's good to see, as a forward, there's a craft of reading the turnover, or reading to get forward at the right time. And Riley Philthorpe got on his bike and got forward at the right time to get involved.
So a response, goal apiece in the term. Houston. Dacos with a little dinking move. Lipinski, there's the forward hand pass. Chris is the one that got them going. Berry does brilliantly. Berry strips it off him.
Great effort, yeah.
Coming. Neil Bullen. Berry inboard. And he's kicked it straight in the pies. Houston. Dacos boys were standing next to each other and they wax. Measures it. Perryman. Sweeps the 30-metre handball out to Quainer. He's got a little bit of space ahead of him. Wants the forwards to come his way. Goes back inside. Pendlebury on the lead. And to go, he probably also still out of range.
Geez, Dacos is here.
On one hand, yeah.
Wow.
He was on a hiding to nothing then.
He's got side bottom on the boundary line, begging for it.
If he had a left, Dacos had come. Had a left side bottom. Dacos pops up and he goes to Dacos side bottom and got it deep. So I don't know, which one would you prefer, having a shot at goal if you're Adelaide?
We're red alert here. Absolutely red alert if you're Adelaide. You can do anything with this.
17 goals last year. Hooks are going for the distance, right to the top of the square. Adelaide take care of it.
So good news there. Isaac Quainer was the one that actually ran with the ball. I think that's something Adelaide could do a little bit more of as well. You don't have to run in a straight line. Run towards the middle of the ground and bring the pressure to you so you can open up a hole.
Walker and Maynard, it's been a good battle. Tex tries to tap it down in his own area. A couple of pies. Swoop on it. Tex just gives it straight back. Chris, forward hand pass to Goey. Nick Dacos. He's hit the post. He's missed one. Now he's kicked on his neck. Adelaide. Can they stop the young champ as Collingwood start to roll?
Last two times they've tried to exit, they just turned it over horribly. Neil Bullen kicks it straight to his Collingwood opponent. And then the handball here, turnover in their back half. Harvey Norman replay here. So De Goey gets involved on the rebound, and then you get it in the hands of the best, and he goes and gets to work. He might do his best work for the centre tonight, Nick Dacos. That might be where he positions himself.
Well, he's not being tagged at the moment, guys. So you've got to ask the question to Matthew Nicks, is that's 2 inside 50s in a row. Nick Dacos is standing on his own. The best player in the competition.
Thanks, guys. Set it up.
He only needs 5 chances forward of the ball on his own. And he's going to be involved in 5 really important scores. So certainly the lockdown needs to come, or Adelaide's defence needs to pick out that Dacos is flipping forward.
13 in total for Nick, 6 for the term. He's had 3 shots for 1-1. Change in the middle. Phil Thorpe blazes through the middle. Quaynor does it really nicely. So change in the middle for the Crows.
Ruck Rover. Riley, the Ruck Rover.
6'7" Ruck Rover, 105 kilo.
They Collingwood flipped the switch here, so they couldn't score when they went inside 50 in the first quarter. They've been in 7 times in the second quarter. They've kicked 2 goals for. It's dangerous all of a sudden.
Play on.
They've done anything different, Gary, or just the momentum?
Well, they're turning it over in their forward half again, and the guys that have kicked the goals, Crisp and Dacos, get it in the good hands.
This is it here as well. Just these short possessions. They've bombed this ball, constantly looking for little short kicks like this. The closer you get towards the 50-metre arc, your scoring chances go through the roof.
Seventh disposal for the term for Nick Dacos. To good, and Schultz punched away from him. Philthorpe just roaming around the MCG. Josh Dacos, Neil Bullen.
Probably because the big champ hadn't had a good look at it. They'd only been inside 50 twice for the year, for the term. So get him up around the footy for 5 minutes won't hurt.
I don't know what he's doing there.
No, he don't know what he's doing. Get him in there.
Perryman sends it back from whence it came. Murray, McStay, big shove. Umpire said, on you go. Now tackles Murray. Gets rid of it just. They steal it. McCreary goes the check side. Doesn't quite get enough on it, but they're starting to have plenty of looks now, the Pies.
Different game. It's a different game to what we've seen earlier today and in the opening round. This is just a grind at the moment. It's 3 goals to 2 halfway through the second quarter when we've seen goals kicked at will.
Maynard, third man up. Dawson overruns it. Maynard doesn't. Runs into traffic.
And this is where Philthorpe can get forward of the ball. He started on ball. Doesn't have a direct opponent at the moment.
Yeah, Ned Long's a good matchup for him if they can get it to him. So he did it a couple of times in the pre-season, I'm told. So it's not like they're throwing out there for the first time. Now Frampton gets to him as the deepest.
Pedler free in the pocket.
End zone.
Peatling. From the side was Pedler. Long. Got an issue.
That's one way to get himself involved. Michelle's a firelighter, we know that. He's a spark, he's a Nick Watson, he's a Tommy Buckley style. And when he hits the scoreboard, he gets some energy into this group. They need a bit of energy because they're just grinding at the moment.
Into his 5th season. Game 71, 97 AFL goals. And Adelaide respond.
It was an impressive kick inside 50. And, I mean, Riley Philthorpe starting a centre bounce just rolled through the middle and it actually sort of created this handover in the goal square when Frampton wanted to get to Philthorpe. Tex Walker became free. Pedler was out the back. They got a really good aerial contest. And then when you turn up at the front, as all good small forwards do, you get the opportunity to win the ball or get the opportunity to put pressure on him. With the way that rule's being umpired this year is as soon as they have one chance to get that ball out and you tackle them, that is holding the ball.
So good circuit breaker. Need to find some footy. Darcy Fogarty hasn't had a touch inside the... Well, hasn't had a touch full stop. So need to get some presence in there. Michelle Darcy's now playing as the deepest forward.
Adelaide 14 points to good at quarter time. Collingwood eked it back. 2 goals apiece for the term. Berry. It's away from Buller. This is out wide on the Shane Warne wing. Houston with a fist. And as far as Cook, shows a nice turn of speed. Mark will be under pressure from Archie. Philthorpe starting to get himself involved in the game.
Haven't seen much of Callum Archie, only the 4 possessions so far. Look at those centre clearances there. 7-1 with a second gamer and a man on debut.
Yeah. They've not scored. They've scored 1 behind as a result of the 7 clearances. That's not their fault, by the way. They just capitalise on it.
Neil Bullen, that's a clever kick. He saw Fogarty there, just lofted it, wedged it in his direction.
Great just vision. Just there to come back. It's sort of like the quarterback. You've got to scan really quickly. And it's not a perfect kick, but it's just a hand of foot and put it in the right direction where you can see the space. Kicks it over Darcy Fogarty. He's got to get it over the top to him. Excellent kick.
Is he the best kick in the game, this bloke? He's a pure striker. His first touch, so he might be the strider.
And if he kicks this, it'll be the 10th Crow to kick 200 goals. He's on 199. He's normally a beautiful finisher. And we pump him up. Gets it narrow.
I said he might be the slider.
And he's had it now.
That Gunston's a pretty good kick. I think I'd rather him at the moment.
Yeah, he's in rare form. He kicked 5. Shannon Neal 5 today. Norton 6. It's the big forwards at the moment.
Stand play on. 2. 1.
Floating across was coming, side bottom. Steps himself into a little gap now. Chris, one that got them going at the start of the term. McQuarrie, just a well-weighted kick.
It's a great kick for Jack.
Got Elliott ahead of the footy. Bond comes back now, tracks Elliott.
Well, they need some support long here. They can't go long, so he squares it up. And Ed Allen was the other player that hadn't had a touch, and he gets his first kick.
This isn't the worst thing for Collingwood. Just chipping it around, getting it closer.
Dacos hooks it. In from the side, McStay doesn't quite stick.
Those short kicks outside 50s, what it does is it draws the Adelaide defenders to come up. So they've got a couple of frees. You have to come up, man up. Or Collingwood just continually take them. 140 uncontested marks last week.
Allen tries to step through Peatland's tackle.
He's got to get some pace on the ball, I reckon, the Crows. We can take some risks here. Don't go back. Just keep going forward. They're out everywhere if you keep going forward. See, that's a lose. That's a loss. It's a win for Collingwood. In this day and age, you just keep going. Now they're manned up down the line.
It has to just go up and under. A couple of pies. Cook claims the mark. Not paid. Josh Dacos coming out for his 12th disposal.
Adelaide just loading up the corridor here at the moment, forcing Collingwood wide, trying to trap them, force them long.
Houston tries to punch a little ball forward.
Does this game break open, guys?
It's a strange
back part of
game.
this quarter here that coming from one side of the ground to the other, really opening up. Players sort of turning towards the corridor, happy to have the safety of the boundary at the moment.
Murray. McStay. Sligo dumped.
Not 15, not 15.
Wobble forward, not the distance.
Not 15.
So that tells a bit of a story. Just again, if you're looking for the way the game has started this year, that's a very conservative set of numbers. The mark play on at 18%, 24%.
Dacos, long. Right foot, explored it, Zagoe. Neil Bullen, now coming. They got runners ahead of the footy.
Got to go. You've got to go.
Saligo does that with a free kick. Tries to spot someone in Archie. Really well done. As Parker came across, provided the spoil. Scooped out somehow. Books out of bounds.
For a team that finished on top of the ladder, clear top of the ladder and won 8 goals by 10 goals or more, the skill and execution here has been a real struggle. The connection piece hasn't been there going inside.
Play on.
I always like your pre-game briefings, Gary. You told me it's all about high scores so far.
Big scoring games with heat on the footy, teams running the balls, just charging through the middle of the ground. We're seeing none of it.
None.
Here, this has been a lockdown 4-goal to tour. It was back in the early 2000s style.
Something for everyone. Berry, McQuarrie gets him. Great tackle.
Now this is where you'd love to see just looks pan straight to the middle part of the ground. You give up the easy ones to trap them.
Another one for Nick Dacos with 18 now. It's a perfect little kick. Straight to his brother, who ran into the big fella.
Well, Big Darcy Cameron's got a great matchup here.
George, end zone.
Big fist. Pinsky had his opportunity. Parker spirals it forward. Bond was a bit flashy for deep in defence, but he gets away with it.
It's the fumble from Lipinski. You're just used to them being clean. Pick that up and you're gone. Have a shot at goal.
Look to Murray.
This is 100% Adelaide have used the boundary coming out of D50 this quarter. Have not even looked like going through the middle.
Kilthorpe. He's done a good job there. He's outsized.
So are they not spreading early enough to create that vacuum in the middle? I just think at the moment they're sort of a bit cumbersome and they're happy to go around and try and go around Collingwood. Yes, they give you the boundary. They want you to go there. Be a bit brave with the ball out of the half-back line.
Oh, they ran it past it.
Buller with a little foot to steal. Lipinski. Oh, another fumble. Still gets the snap towards goal. No, I get the fumble. Rogue steal. Collingwood get their third.
Well, it is not pretty. Let's be honest. It's not pretty. Everyone runs past the footy. They all ran past the footy. Butts is that worried about his man. He just ran past the footy. He gets back to steal. It's good enough just to dribble this one through, but not before he had a fumble. He's got the ball to ground as well. But it's good enough to kick the goal. So they're close. They're staying. It's not going to get blown out of the water. And certainly not the way they're playing when taking the game on in this first half. So no great surprise we're inside a goal.
See Roan Steele hitting the scoreboard there. You're right. It's a pretty low scoreline. I'm accustomed over these first 2 weeks to some pretty high scores. 8+ goals in some quarters for some sides. This one's a dour affair, a very defensive-minded affair.
Collingwood won 9 of the last 10 between the two, but on average of just 12 points.
So who's it favouring? Hackers, we get another repeat ball up here.
Collingwood every day of the week. This is exactly what Craig McRae does sometimes, is just bring teams down to your level, play in the trenches, and Collingwood are playing in the trenches, and it's not exactly where Adelaide want to play. They want to play that free-flowing game, but they cannot come through the middle at the moment.
Crisp finds a bit of space. Low left footer forward. Bond in the right spot. Spreads immediately. Can they get a bit of run and gun happening here? Cook.
So have they got enough creative users off the half-back line? That's the next question. If they're not yet prepared to go and take that kick at the 45 and look into the middle of the ground, is it because they're not confident? Rory Led squares the ball up for the first time. Worrell was outstanding in the first quarter with 13 touches.
Do you give Dawson a look down there, Gaz and Jack?
Yeah, I don't mind it, Moons. I think he started his career there, but they've butchered off half-back tonight as well, so get your best user down there.
Worrell is going 100% by foot. High ball off the boot of Lachlan McAndrew. Touch ball. Going to send it the other way on Neil Bullen. Started the game brightly. Towards Frampton. Misses it. Falls to Pedlar. Bouncing. I reckon he's kicked at Pedlar.
Okay, so it goes behind. Score review. Umpire's call is one behind touched. Please confirm happy to call the goal.
Review complete. Looking at this angle, you see the ball's touched before crossing the back of the goal line. Decision on the scoreboard.
And under Scott Pendlebury. Pendle thought it was home.
Chelsea of Bullen's the only one that's trying to be a little bit creative with the ball, and they do go inside to the Crows.
Yours.
Great kick.
Spotted to Joey. Inside his defensive 50. He looked inboard, nothing really presented.
Yours, mate. My own.
Murray across the front. Lipinski pinballs away from him. Saligo threw it out to Dawson. He's up ground back to Miller. 18 disposals now going 100%. Miller.
And you know that Butts is not going to take the ball over. You just know he's not. So this is half the problem. Is that the ball users aren't prepared to have a look, and fair enough, Butts is not that player. They've just got to have a look and find someone that's prepared to be a bit creative, and the run from behind hasn't been there.
Philthorpe gets creative, just lobs it up in the path of Berry. Now Peatling. Access the middle of the MCG. Nice little turn. Houston provides the pressure. McCreary steams through. Dacos runs into Philthorpe.
Says he looked after him before.
He did look after him, Gaz.
God, he looked after him.
He's there again, Philthorpe. He's roaming far and wide at the moment. His man is Frampton. Sees the kick and takes care of it.
Nick's lucky he wasn't playing in Peters. I'll tell you right now.
Now Quainer, that's a good kick. to go. He's got Maynard in board, and that's where he goes. Elliott's ahead of the footy, but he just kicks it to a couple of Crows. Bond, Cook, Bond. Too much on it, back to DeGoey. Now to open up. The number 2, he sized them up, then he gave it to McCreary. Hits 35. Pies fans tell you the rest. Collingwood hit the front for the first time.
And they deserve it because they've kept the footy played in their front half. They put pressure on and they put doubt in the mind of this Adelaide Crows defence. And we've been asking why they won't go inside. Why won't you be prepared to take the kick through the middle of the ground? Well, finally they do. Bond says, I'll go. Misses the target. Ball turned over. Goal. Runner gets out the bottom and says, do it again. Go and do it again. Back yourself again. Otherwise you're going to spend your life running around the boundary and go into half-time with 4 goals on the board. Great turnover.
It was the right decision. Just poor skill execution there from Bond. Very good from Jordan Ngoe as well, not to blaze away and actually run with the ball and bring the Adelaide defender at him so that McCreary gets out and gets sort of 10 metres of space to run forward and have a really good shot on goal. 2 in a row to Collingwood.
Adelaide led by 14 at quarter time. 4 goal to 2 term, and Collingwood hit the front for the first time. Forward hand pass, Nick Dacos outside of the boot. Grabbed by Butts.
15 times their best defensive 50 Adelaide this quarter. Gone inside their own 50 once. Credit to Magpie, credit to Collingwood.
Another turnover. Chris. Schultz. Second poster for the night.
Right options inside 50 as well there, Schultz. Jordan Ngoe, Nick Dacos both had their hands up 30 metres out from goal.
Just preying on it right now, aren't they? The Maggies turning the footy over in their front half, preying on it. They've kicked 4 goals 6. Could have really gapped them here. Nervous Adelaide defence.
He favoured that outer side of the ground, exiting all quarter without success. Archie again, he's forced to hem lead back into the pocket where he's had it numerous times.
Well, they've kind of teased them into a standstill in Collingwood, which is credit to them.
Adelaide have fallen for it as well.
And a turnover again, forward half turnover. Nick Dacos from 55! 4 goals 7.
That is everything that we've just been talking about. They are getting more nervous with every possession in their back half here, and that's a safe kick here, but I'll tell you what, Butts isn't doing. He's not coming into the middle of the ground.
Stand! Stand!
Headlock. Again, tight on the boundary line.
It's not a great sign when the players are backing off the mark. It sort of shows that you're going to be slow.
Good.
We get it over the halfway mark, down towards Philthorpe. We've got a little shove. Maynard, who is prepared to be very aggressive. Might hurt him. Murray floats across, takes a good mark. Now they've got an opportunity. Keys hasn't had much of it. Go in that direction. He'll stay down. Good grab. Good use.
Well, this is the staggering thing, is that they haven't been prepared to be brave and bold and get it in there quick. Yet Frampton's one out in terms, there's no Darcy Moore, there's no Jeremy Howe. Up against Silthorpe, Fogarty and Walker, you would think that they'd be trying at every opportunity to be brave and bold and get it in and give them a chance. It's been belated. He hasn't had many looks at it, Darcy Fogarty.
Game 1-2-7, second attempt at his 200th goal. Normally so good in front of the sticks. To retake the lead to a chorus of boos. Goal 200. Easy.
And that side, I'll tell you how.
So Adelaide pinched the lead back late off the back of Fogarty's 200th goal, the 10th pro to bring up the number. Half-time here, Adelaide led by 14 at quarter-time. Collingwood hit the front late, but Adelaide respond 5-5-34. The Pies 4-8-32. Adelaide 3 points up. Half-time here at the MCG.
All right, there we go. Half-time. Adelaide kick a goal after the siren to put them back in front at half-time. 5-5 35, the Adelaide Crows, 4-8, 32, the Magpies. A lot better quarter. It was a little bit of a mirror image of the opening term, folks. And Collingwood seemed to get on top in that second half, pretty much the entire second half, but they just squandered their chances. 4 goals, 7. 4 goals, 7. They certainly could have been 3 or 4 goals up at this stage. Let themselves down there. Of course, as I was saying in the commentary, Adelaide was under full pressure. They just not willing to go corridor bound. It's all the long way around the boundary. I tell you what, they're putting some kilometres up around the boundary at Adelaide. 3 goals, 2 in the second term for Adelaide. They get that goal after the siren. There we go, and Fogarty sticks Adelaide back in front. Still, I'll tell you what, this game is certainly up for grabs for both teams. Who's going to play their best? Who's going to be a little bit more composed in their game? Who's going to be more accurate? It could come down to accurate kicking this evening. Who's going to win? That is for sure and certain. I will be back with the commentators in just a moment, just to let the good folks out there. The score in the other game there, 6 minutes into the third term, it's the Sydney Swans 10-6, 66, leading the Brisbane Lions 2-8-20. So the Swans by 46 points, 6.5 minutes into the third quarter over there at the SCG. All right, let's just bob on over there while we wait for the commentators. We're just going to have a look at the goal scorers now. There's been a few more put on. No multiple goal scorer out on the ground as far. Let's have a look at Adelaide's goal scorers. All singles, of course. Riley Thilthorpe, Josh Rochelle, Alex Neil-Bullen, Darcy Fogarty, Isaac Cumming. All singles there for the Adelaide Crows. For the Magpies, Rowan Steele, he's come up with one. Bo McCreary, Nick Dacos, Jack Crisp. All singles to the Magpies. Let's have a look at the disposal count. Of course, the little champ, some do say he's the best player in the competition. Nick Dacos, 22 touches. He's leading the way out there now. He had a fantastic second term, 15 touches in that second. 22 touches, 14 kicks, 8 handballs. He's had 5 marks, a tackle, 2 clearances, 1 goal, 2. For Dakes, hit the post once or twice. Unlucky not to have 3. There we go. Wayne Malera, there we go, tops the table for the Adelaide Crows on 20. He's had 12 kicks, 8 handballs, 3 marks, a tackle, and a clearance. The only 2 players out on the ground up until half-time in the 20-plus disposal mark, Josh Worrell, there we go. Next best for the Crows on 18, Dan Houston, 17, Lipinski on 15. He's had a couple of clearances. Jack Crisp on 14, Josh Dacos just on 13 at the moment, still working hard there. Adelaide Crows, Roy Laird 15, Alex Neil-Bullen 13, Jordan Dawson on 11. We're still waiting to him to really come into the game. Just 11 touches with 7 kicks, 4 handballs, 3 marks and 3 tackles for him. Who else we got there? Sam Berry on 11, still side bottom on 10, Harry Perryman on 10, Bo McCreary on 10, Maynard and Ned Long on 10. There we go, Josh Rochelle on 8 for the Crows with Braden Cook and Isaac Cumming, of course, on 8. Tex Walker didn't have much of the say in that second quarter. Still just the 5 touches, 2 kicks, 3 handballs. Hasn't hit the scoreboard as yet. All right, we're going to head back to the commentators. They'll give us a little bit of a wrap-up on the opening half.
Fascinating game. A real arm wrestle. Collingwood's forward half game is really strong. But for me, it's the class impacting this game. Not necessarily inside 50, but in that little wedge between the centre circle, absolute middle of the ground, and the top of 50. If the class players get it, as we'll show in the Host Plus performance for the first half, inside that 70-metre wedge you're talking about, 70 to 50, if you can get in the hands of Dawson or Miller, the quality ball users are finding targets, and that's separating the game, or certainly giving Adelaide an opportunity. They've got quality targets. If you just blast it in, it's impossible to beat this sort of density. That kick there, albeit touched, was weighted perfectly to the forward's advantage. You've got to do something slightly off centre. You can't just be bombing it to the top of the goal square and expect a return tonight, because at half-time Adelaide taking 4 marks inside 50. Look at this, these couple of kicks here, just into space. I mean, that's just giving it to Tex Walker to advantage and make it up from there.
just don't give Collingwood the right of reply with their loose man, or and conversely the same at the other end. So I just think the Crows are in this game because of plays like this. They've been beaten for territory, and Collingwood really probably should lead at half-time. But the quality of entry is keeping Adelaide in front.
Yeah, I think they're falling into the trap of thinking that we're outsizing them deep in our forward 50, so let's just kick it long. So for me, I'd love to see Jordan Dawson maybe actually roll a little bit behind centre and maybe get his ball use coming out of there, and then get involved in link-up plays like we see Nick Dacos. He's had 11 touches and only 67 metres gained.
They can't win. If Dawson has 20 touches in the back half, they can't win. They need that attacking mid-zone section to line up for the Crows.
They can't get it out of their own back half at the moment. They're going wide every single time. You need someone down there that just gives them a little bit of dare. Every single exit out of D50 there went wide. You want someone just to take the game, the bull by the horns, and kick it through the middle.
What are you seeing, Jay?
We're seeing a repeat of last week for Collingwood, in particular the fans. You can hear the frustration in the ground because scoring is going to be a real struggle for them in 2026, you'd think. Without Brodie Myercheck, they're relying on these mid-side targets. You see tonight, 2 marks only inside 50 at half-time from 34 inside 50s and 4 goals. So they're relying on some Dacos magic to hit the scoreboard. They just edged out St Kilda last week. And you think while the rest of the competition is playing a high-scoring, free-flowing footy, it looks like a sandpit out there, the MCG, at times. And interesting, the use of Jamie Elliott too came on at about the 20-minute mark of the last quarter. So this is the veteran sub-use from Collingwood. Pendlebury last week, Jamie Elliott this week.
Yeah, it seems like they're experimenting a little bit. Well, we've got a fly on the wall in the Collingwood rooms at the moment. Cameron Mooney is down there. What are you hearing, Moons?
Well, it's a very quiet confidence down here at the moment, Kath, and rightly so. I mean, that was a fantastic quarter, wasn't it? Completely turned the game on its head, Collingwood. And even though they've gone in down at half-time, they own that second quarter. 12 turnovers to 5 in the front half. That's where the game completely turned for Collingwood. The pressure was enormous. You could feel it at ground level. They owned the corridor, and as you mentioned many times, Jack, made Adelaide just hog the boundary line. They just didn't have that dare or want or the courage to go through the middle because Collingwood did own it. And when they did, they absolutely paid the price for 4 goals, 6. And as you said, Kitty, Collingwood should be going in at half-time well in front. I think they've got the game in their control at the moment, guys.
Thanks, Moons. And when the Collingwood pressure goes up, you know the crowd gets into it as well. That's the challenge of playing Collingwood at the MCG. 3 games coming your way tomorrow. We begin at Marvel Stadium. Hasn't there been a lot to talk about this match? North Melbourne taking on Port Adelaide. And then it's over across town to the MCG. It is Melbourne under their new coach taking on the Saints. And finally, to conclude, one of the flag favourites in Gold Coast hosting West Coast.
All right, just while the commentators are just taking a break there, just a wrap up of who are the winners so far in round 1. Of course, Thursday night we had a close game there, folks. It was Carlton defeating Richmond by 4 points, 75-71. Of course, Friday night, Hawthorn absolutely gave the Bombers a shellacking, 145-83. The same can be said for the Western Bulldogs over the GWS Giants, 134-53. We had a cracking game there down at GMHBA Stadium this afternoon where Geelong, they had to come back from 35 points down in the second term. They got up to beat Fremantle 110-100. And as I said, third quarter at the moment being played, 14 minutes into the third term. Sydney 73, Brisbane Lions 26. They're copping an absolute shellacking over there up in Sydney. Just while we're waiting, we're just going to head back over here and just have a look at some of the team stats here, and we'll see what the some of the stats say. Of course, 12 scoring shots to 10, pretty even there. But looking at the disposal count for the teams, folks, it's only +6 there to the Magpies, 200-194. Adelaide kicking a little bit more, +13. The Magpies doing the handball a little bit more, +19. Inside 50s, the Pies by 10 there. They're getting plenty of inside 50s. Look at that, their season average on 40. Of course, that was in opening round, 34 so far for just 12 scoring shots. Not very efficient going inside their forward 50. That was especially due to the opening quarter here. 24 for the Adelaide Crows off their 10 scoring shots. Not too bad for them. Looking at the disposal efficiency, there we go, 72-70. That's pretty well Well, see, that's pretty well average, I would expect. Certainly looking at last season's disposal efficiency up until half-time there. Looking at the free kicks, it's pretty tidy. It's only 8-7. It's the Pies by 1. Not many free kicks being given out there, the umpires. Don't want to get a new whistle for next week, so they're keeping it quiet. Adelaide Crows, however, they are dominating the hit-outs. 22-9, they're plus 13. Pies got back up on top of the clearances, 17-12. They're plus 5 there. But that's in the stoppage clearances, 15-5. They're plus 10 there. But the centre clearances, Adelaide doing all the damage there. 7-2, absolutely dominating out of the centre clearances there. They're plus 5 for the Pies. Contested possession, well, Adelaide a little bit stronger at the ball. They're 74-59. There we go. They're plus 15. They're uncontested. Not a great deal, and just the sevens. Both teams turning the ball over rapidly there, 44-41. Marking department, though, Adelaide Crows, plus 5. They've had the chances inside 50. 4 to inside 50 marks. As I was saying earlier on, Collingwood struggling to find their target, get their free man inside forward 50, their lead-up target. They've just been bombing the ball in a fair bit, so we need that to change a little bit coming into the third and final quarter when that happens. Looking at the tackle count there, well, it's probably a little bit low at the moment, 32-29. 53 they had in the first and opening round were the Pies. I don't know why this keeps loading, but there we go. It's plus 3. Tackles inside 50. Both teams doing okay there. 7-6. All right, there we go. We're only 7 minutes away from the bounce of the ball for the third quarter, folks. So we will be right back in just a moment with the commentators.
Andrews and Gardner leave Zane Zakostelski and Ryan Lester essentially holding up that back line for Brisbane, and Sydney's been absolutely smashing him. I mean, what a start to the season this is for John Longmire's man. Nick Blakey looks like he's ready to be an All-Australian this year. And up forward...
Dean Cox coaches Sydney now.
Did I just say John Longmire? I meant Dean Cox. That was a test for you, of course. It was a test. I'm still living in 2024. Marty, Logan McDonald and Isaac Kenny, thanks for picking me up on that, Jack, have all kicked 7 goals. So now Brisbane, they're under the pump already. They face St Kilda after the bye, and that's the grudge match. That's the Chris Fagan-Ross line, tit for tat they've been having for several months now. So it's a really tough start for the season for the reigning Premier.
You have a breather, just collect your thoughts, and we'll get to the other service Let's bring you up to speed with what else happened on Super Saturday. We begin at GMHBA Stadium. This was a cracking game for the Cats. They trailed by 35 points, but the story was when they were trailing by 33 at quarter time. And Chris Scott's probably thinking, do I launch here? Do I go? And he did give an absolute bake at quarter time. It wasn't good enough in his eyes, and whatever he said worked. We heard from a number of players post-game. They said he used the word disgraceful a number of times, but they ended up winning by 10 points.
Yeah, the coach Bob Davis did a great job of getting that done. Sometimes the players just need a spray can, and sometimes they need to gather themselves. It was a great game. Fremantle, I think, rue some missed opportunities that last quarter to be clean. It was their better players, they weren't up to it.
It also sparks the conversation about opening round and whether it's an unfair competitive advantage. This was Justin Longmire when he was asked about it post-game.
It looked like a bit of attrition at the end. You look really tired, they look full of energy. Anything to do with opening round v round one? I mean, again.
Well, do you think there is?
I do, yeah.
Well, I think anyone who's been around football would realise it's an advantage. We should all start the season the same way. There should be no competitive advantage in teams having played a game before they play another team. It just makes so much sense to people in the industry, and we've just got it. We've just got it wrong.
Have you or the club taken that to the AFL yet?
Oh, we've said it enough.
You're all in the industry. Do you think it's unfair, Jay?
Oh, not particularly. I mean, they were right in the first quarter, kicked 50 points. Fremantle, I think it's a bit of an excuse, if anything, but I admire the strong comments.
Jack?
They'd be ruining some of the decisions in the second half. Silly errors cost them
Do you
goals.
think it's unfair, though?
No, I think it's fair. You just got to turn up and play. You might be fresher.
It's fixable. It's fixable. Just get it right.
Yep.
I'm with you.
We have to head to a break. The second half coming up next. It is Adelaide leading Collingwood by 3 points. Our favourite time of Super Saturday Live is when we see the NAB Oz kickers. What do you think about the form here?
Oh, yeah, nice. Good move.
Dashing away there.
Probably going to have to kick it soon.
Heading through the sticks.
Oh, so close.
Hey, it's all about having a bit of fun. Good on them. Right here, would you?
At the first break, Collingwood kicked the last 2 goals of the term before Adelaide responded late. The Crows lead it by 3 points. And as we expect, Garrett, it's tight between these two.
Yeah, it is. Use of the interchange bench is interesting. So Elliott, Sidebottom, Pendlebury through the top 5 for time spent on the bench. There's a little bit of rope-a-dope element of this because we do know that Pete Ling coming, Archie twice hamstring, Berry and Saligo with that heart issue have had interrupted pre-seasons over the last month and a half. Is that going to be a factor in this second half? I'll be interested to see how Elliott, Sidebottom and Pendlebury run this second half out. Games here to be taken, both sides. In the balance, will they be braver, Adelaide? That's what's going to be most interesting.
Away we go again. Dawson gets it from the young ruckman, McAndrews, who's started the season pretty nicely. Walker, nice bit of evasive work, saw and hit Rochelle with one of those wobbling balls forward.
Yeah, you just got to get it forward at some point there. Tex Walker, an excellent kick of the footy there, but he sees Rochelle just out of the corner of his eye. It's only got to go 15 metres and a mark inside 50, crucial for Adelaide.
Composure, Jack. 2 marks inside 50 to Collingwood, 4 marks inside 50 to Adelaide. They've been so rare. So a little bit of composure, goals at a premium.
Kick one in the second term, did Rochelle. From directly in front. Hooks it.
Bad miss.
So important to get a good start here, Adelaide, in this second half. Collingwood, one of the best finishing sides. These games have always been close over the last few years between Collingwood and Adelaide. Setting up for another one here.
5 of the last 6 been decided by 10 points or under, with Collingwood holding the big hand.
That's okay. Play on.
9 of the last 10. Turned it over, Quaylor, unusual. They just load up, blaze it forward. That's a wasted opportunity with men free inside 50.
That is he's usually so good with the footy in hand, he's Tex Walker. Always makes something happen, but he went for a hero 55-metre goal when he had numbers on.
23rd disposal for Nick Dacos, right down the middle of Jagoe, and let his teammate down.
He liked the matchup. He liked the matchup with Laird, and he went straight to him.
Now in the hands of his brother. And Lipinski work in front of Cumming.
Play on.
Long. Back to Lipinski. Bit of flow for the Pies. And it's stayed in game 200 on a nice long lead.
I think you'll be in range here.
Lays it off, turns it over. Straight to Cumming.
It's no need.
Wow. It has been a mess. It has been a messy game.
Play on to 15. Play on.
Wow. Going to stack it in the first term. 20th disposal now.
This has got to come in board here. Got Wayne Miller standing on his own.
Hitting the outer side of the ground, going the opposite direction, but it's the same path. Archie steps through. McAndrew, Neil Bullen, dinks around, and that's a good use of the football to Keys.
There's a poor first half, Ben Keys. Only the 3 disposals. We know he's a goal kicker, hasn't kicked one against Collingwood.
They dish it off. That's much better. Cumming kicked the opener, and he gets things underway in the second half.
That's what we need. We have it for both sides, not just Adelaide. We need some run from behind. This game has been legislated so that you can come and run from behind and set something up. The man on the mark gets stuck. There's nothing he can do. So it's a beautiful use by Neil Bullen. Then you need someone to come from behind here. And in this case, it was Cumming who executes it beautifully. So it has been stodgy and it's been stop-start, kick over the mark. We're waiting for this to get into flow.
Bullen's the one that's shown through that second part of, or late part of the second quarter there, his ability to sort of shift with his eyes. There was his body. He actually runs towards the middle of the ground, and all of a sudden he opens up a whole new corridor to use the ball, and used it well inside 50.
Josh Dacos in the middle of the ground. Another centre clearance.
Dawson, low entry. Side bottom in front of Archie. Out to some space. Good contest from Cook. Back to Miller. Cook again. Drops it forward. Rochelle. Miller. Now he goes in ball. That's a bit more dash from the Crows. They send it deep. The Phil Thorpe, and you get it in the big boy, and that's what he can do.
You've got a monster down there. You've got to move it quick, Jack.
And you've got to get it to him when he's behind. He's so dangerous. As soon as he slips his defender, we know they're undersized there, Collingwood. Certainly in that goal square mark, they were undersized. But Miller was the one, shifted off the line, changed all of a sudden the angles. And this man with a run and a jump, there is none better in the competition at catching it at its full height.
Bit of dash. The Crows finally. Thorpe should have no concerns here. 3 in a row for the Crows. They're out by 17 points all of a sudden.
So last 2 goals have been as a result of handball and having a runner in accompanying you on the way through. And we said it just before half-time. When you've got that monster down there, the Bunnings Warehouse build-up should look like this. Share the ball around, be a bit imaginative. So here, quick give, bang, gone. And then Thorpe is as tough as anyone. Go around that bloke on the mark. This is the sort of run that modern footy demands, and now they've just put a little gap on them.
I love that from Miller. That movement there where you come in off the line, you don't have to kick it to change the angles, you don't have to handball it to change the angles. The player with the ball can shift the whole game if they just turn off the line. We've seen it with Neil Bullen 2 goals previous, and there it was Miller was the one that changed the whole game.
It doesn't need to be perfect. You need to get it there quick.
To the Thorpe, to the coming. Rochelle trying to provide more spark in the middle. Takes it away, but Elliott comes back into play. Worrell vacuumed everything up this evening. Dawson just got away from Nick Dacos.
Good vision though, wasn't it?
Yeah, now Tex on a long lead. Wheels and goes. Good build up again. Now they're starting to flow. Peatling sees something in the pocket.
Mark play-on percentage has gone through the roof in the 3rd quarter. So Adelaide are on the bike. They're on their bike. They're on the move.
Cook sizes them up himself. Cook! 4 in a row for the Crows. Finish of the night.
That was excellent movement again. Tex Walker on the lead up on the far side of the ground. He's the one. Didn't look down the line, didn't look skinny. He looked straight into the middle of the ground, brought it through the middle there. And with the modern day game and the modern day rules on not being able to move as a man on the mark, you can see this movement here from Tex Walker. That is pure centre half forward. Come at the footy. He looks straight into the middle, and we know he's an excellent field kick there. And this kick here from Peatling as well. Now with the man stuck under the mark there, you can get access to this little pocket here to gain just a little bit more distance to be able to kick goals like this, guys.
So mark, play on, don't go back over the mark. Collingwood have wanted to go slow. They're happy to do that. Don't fall into their trap. Go, go, go from an Adelaide Crow point of view.
How did Collingwood respond?
Well, it's going to be really interesting because if they get another goal down, they're going to have to go and start moving as well.
Now they're dragging it out of the middle. Cook 3 games last year, didn't kick a goal, so that'll boost his confidence.
Got to get their hands on the ball, Collingwood. minus 20 possessions already.
Coming with a low ball inside, 50 Archie all of a sudden. Options galore.
Well, he said they'd taken 4 marks inside there for 50 the Adelaide Crows in the first half. In this quarter, they've taken 3 already. So the whole thing's changed. They've flipped this on their head.
Speed.
And now Collingwood are going, hang on. I thought we were playing sort of stop-start footy. Wasn't there an agreement in the first half? We go slow.
Archie looking to kick his first goal for the Adelaide Crows. Couple of flags at Brisbane. Strikes it. Touch left.
So do they stick to their guns, the Pies here? Or are they now start to get a bit more imaginative?
We were talking about Jordan Dawson, weren't we? Where do we throw him down half back, leave him in the middle? Well, he stayed in the middle. He's had 4 possessions, have been absolutely dynamic this quarter.
Cameron Mooney, Jack Rewhite, Gary Lyon. Saturday night football. Tapped. Just into the path of Michael Annie. A game-high 24-point lead to the Adelaide Crows. They've kicked 3 for the term and last 4 of the match.
It's been hard to get it out of the trenches here. Game's being played in more open field play at the moment, not where Collingwood wanted it nice and close.
What can Collingwood do to respond? Archie steps away from Nick Dacos. Keys had a tough night. Pendlebury, calm, long, good tackle. Dawson gets him.
Last tackle in the game, open field tackle.
Advantage paid. Rochelle drives it forward. Maynard, can he put some run on the game? Tries to do that. State gathers it nicely. Backing board better from Collingwood. Arching his back and running away is Ed Allen. Now McCreary. He's not sure, so he lays off the hand pass. Steele, 45. Collingwood respond.
They lit a fire under the Magpies. They've just seen 4 or 3 get punched on their nose, and now for the first time, the run and the carry and the dare and the play on is there. Is it a one-off? I don't know. Harvey Norman replay suggests they're going to keep going.
How quick is Ed Allen? He just put the hammer down here. He was the one shifted it inside with a little handball there. And once again, on the open side of the plate, they will catch up on the fat side of the ground. And that's where you get involved as a winger and as a half-forward. And Roan Steele was in the perfect spot to get the ball. Look at this pace here, Gaz.
It doesn't have to be perfect, Jack. So the run from Ed Allen opens the ground up. So you don't have to pick the eyes out of it. All of a sudden the game opens up because you're prepared to run and carry and take ground in front of you.
McCreary didn't panic there as well at centre half forward.
Good return to Steele. He kicks his second. Now the game's starting to open up here at the MCG. McAndrew, Philthorpe again, that big ruck overroll. Berry drags out of the middle. The ball starting to ping around. Perryman, Walker, clever hand pass. Keys, dangerous from the pocket if he gets a look at it. Centering, Saligo, brilliant.
Great kick, Ben Keys.
11-3 out of the centre. Let's just pay tribute to this young man, McAndrew. So 8 hit-outs to advantage. Darcy Cameron 1, and they lead the centre bounce clearance 11-3. So Keys been down quiet first half, bobs his head up, and this is the 4th mark inside 50. In the first 10 minutes of the third quarter, they had 4 for the first half.
Jake Saligo, 36 back in 2021, 36 career goals. Adelaide respond immediately.
We talk about that dominance in the centre bounce, and that's where it came from there. A good player's getting involved as well. Tex Walker's lifted his work rate and been involved a lot in this third quarter. Ben Keys only the 3 possessions, but this is the centre bounce. The big, tall ruckman gets over the top, and Berry comes out straight away.
Big Riley Philthorpe's frame's in there just making a bit of space as well. He hasn't got a centre bounce clearance, but he's wandering back in there to make his presence felt.
I love it, Gaz. I think it's really important that sometimes as a key forward you can get stuck deep and you don't get a lot of touches. Philthorpe gets in the middle. He's up 200 plus centimetres, and from here he gets the ability to have a bite at it in the middle, and then he just rolls forward and you might not get an opponent on the way through.
11-3 Adelaide, centre bounce. Away we go.
Play on.
Might get another one, although Pendlebury's trying to do something about it. No one really wins it. Alan, we saw that burst of speed.
We saw Jamie Elliott in there from a Collingwood point of view, so they're looking for a match or a mix in there that can be competitive. But the big fella, 211 centimetres, all 211, was on the Swans list. He's come on and had a bit of a say.
Bond, clever little hand pass to Peatling. Same again, Berry, crunch between a couple of pies. 3 Collingwood players are there. Josh Dacos front and centre. Maynard takes care of business to Allen, who's starting to get a bit of footy in his hand. Good run from Schultz.
Trap down the line here, Collingwood.
Kissed into space. Bond. Wobbly ball. Maynard's good position. Fogarty does well to keep himself in that competition. Neil Bullen, not going to see it out.
That's strong by Darcy Fogarty there, just to come back. He's obviously got a really big bottom half. Like he can come back with that backside Howie and just put it in. He needed to at that point there with Maynard trying to make solid contact on him. Brought it to the front. They get a stoppage. That's nearly as good as a win for him.
Bottom half. He's got a bit of Brett Lee about him in that department. Off the ground. Allen. Cameron. Is that the polite way to address teammates, Jack? With it quite big in the bum region?
He's got massive quads.
Big bottom
massive
half.
quads, Howie.
Slim tackle here, is it? That's all right. I suspect he might have thought about it, Geordie, but he did the right thing and pulled out of it.
5 of the last 6 goals have come from the Crows. They led by 14 at quarter time.
That's the difference there, Rory Laird. Looks straight to the middle of the ground.
Spread.
3 at half time now, 24 to the good.
Spread Howie, not down the same side that the ball came from.
Nice change from the Crows. Michael Annie into Neil Bullen. Now the runners come. from all angles. On the lead. Big Riley.
This is exactly what a key forward wants in the modern day game, Gaz. You want the ball going from one side to the other, come back through the middle, through the top of the 50-metre arc, and lead up, lead up, lead up.
It's staggering, isn't it? So 4 marks in total in the forward 50 for the Adelaide Crows. And here we are in the third quarter, they've taken 5.
I reckon Pedler made a good business decision there, Jack, pulling out of that one.
Riley Philthorpe looking for a third to further stretch the lead. Magnificent drop punt. Riley's got 3. Adelaide are out to a 30-point game-high margin, and issues now for Collingwood.
So there is a difference in this Adelaide team in this second half, the way they are moving the balls, but it's also the decisions they are making off the back half here. And as it comes out, Icolani is exactly what he was going to do here. This kick here would predominantly go wide, but he's taken the one straight through the middle. He sees Alex Neil-Bullen take those chances. Yes, you are going to miss some, but it opens up opportunities like this. And this man on the lead, with the ball coming through 50 like that, is unbeatable.
What about this big fella here? Had a breakout year, kicked 60 goals, the 5th highest ranked player in the league. He's going to go to another level. We've seen it across the competition. These big key forwards are going to get more one-on-one looks at it than they ever have before if you play in the manner that they're playing. So score some set shots, tell a story. 8 goals, 3. They haven't scored from a set shot. They haven't scored a goal from the set shot, the Magpies.
1 set shot.
Opportunity here for Collingwood. Need to really start taking these opportunities. He went for the barrel, Nick. Didn't type it. Wow.
Well, there's one player in the competition that would have a licence to do that, and it'd be Nick Dacos.
Keep an eye on the up here. Peakman sort of pushed Dacos into him, so it was really no one's fault.
I don't think the AFL like that sort of look.
No. Neil-Bullen, the second goal of the match. You know, good now, Adelaide. They're really going laterally. Deep ball forward, Philthorpe.
Ragdolled him.
And it's going against Frampton.
And you know the player who you'd go and ask right now and say, just tell me the difference between the first half and the second half is Billy Frampton. Billy Frampton would say, you know what? First half wasn't too bad. The ball wasn't coming. It was coming down slow. It was coming down wide. We got numbers back. It's coming down with heat on it now. And he's playing on one of the most dangerous big men in the competition.
Man's not happy with it. That's a free kick in my book every day of the week. Billy doesn't agree.
As soon as he took his eye off the ball, Jack, he was gone.
A little bit too close to the man in the mark there, I reckon, Riley.
5 goals for the match, the Pies. They're 31. They're over 5 goals down. See a little bit of urgency here.
Well, work out for Chris the way he was expecting. Quaynor tries to keep him in play. Pressure on every Collingwood disposal at the moment. The Crows will go forward again through Cumming. And Pedler's got it in the pocket.
His forward half game now is on the Adelaide terms. It's wide open. And you get free, easy looks inside 50. And Pedler gets on the end of one here.
13 times for the quarter, Jack, they've been inside. They've kicked 5 goals for. The game has opened up. And you do the work and you invest in the game by taking it on, then the rewards are going to come, and the rewards are coming thick and fast.
13 goals in the 2025 campaign from 9 matches for Luke Pedler. From a tight angle. He does it spectacularally well. 37-point margin now. Adelaide, they've kicked 6 goals to 1 in this term alone.
It's been impressive, but now we want to see what sort of reaction or response. We know that Craig McRae has got the capacity to change things. Well, they've had it handed to them in this third quarter. That's been a footy lesson. They tried to get it played in a manner that was contrary to the way the modern game's going, and now it's bitten them on the backside to a point where they're 37 points behind and they can't stop them. So what's the response now for the Magpies? Adelaide are moving. They're on their bike.
Well, minus 31 in disposals at the moment, so the first thing they need to do is actually get their hands on the football. They've been smacked at centre bounce.
Jack Buller is in the ruck here.
Set shots, 9 goals for, Adelaide, one behind Collingwood. There is Buller getting that extraction. Nick Dacos, long through it to Pendlebury. It was good vision. Buller, it's laborious to get it forward. Nick Stone, he goes as far as Murray. Well, slingshot back the other direction here. Adelaide, they're full of confidence. Neil Buller does go inside. Archie's pointing.
Neil Buller told Archie where to go.
Archie sets up Fogarty. Frampton front position. And it's a free kick this time going Billy's way. They are under siege back there, the black and white.
Yeah, Billy's got a huge job down back now at the moment. No Philthorpe, so then he goes straight to Fogarty.
Painter, a couple of bounces. Runs off half back. Good grab. Schultz, nice little fly. Keep going, Lockie.
Adelaide are getting back quicker though here.
Elliott on the lead. Something for the Pies.
2v5 inside forward 50 right now. Work back really hard, the Crows defenders. That's a good decision.
Great defensive running by Adelaide. Pendlebury dishes it off. Perryman. Not quite.
Archie dodged the bullet there. He was the one that probably overcommitted on the Pendlebury mark. There's the little hang. Decent mark over Josh Worrell there. Real good.
Stand. Move it on. Play on. Yours. Me. Play on. Alex, play on.
So what can you do if you're Collingwood, Garrett?
Well, they got a number behind the footy. They got a spare in the middle of the ground, but they're not using them. There's no overlap, no run from behind. We know there's no connection when they go inside full 50. They kick a solitary point from a set shot. And I don't know whether you try Nick forward in forward 50 at some stage. When in doubt, throw Nick somewhere. They haven't been able to make anything happen. There's been no magic down there. Billy Elliott's struggling to get involved.
I think Houston's the one you could maybe come off the half-back line and get him involved right at the ground.
McStay pushing and shoving, and Bond takes it hard. This is all at sea inside 50, the Pies. Here's an opportunity for a potential turnover.
Yeah, they just haven't looked dangerous. Buller hasn't looked dangerous. Memory just has had one possession for the match. Jamie Elliott's had two possessions for the match, so they just haven't got any winners in their 450, which is why maybe you start to throw it around a bit. It's a horrible matchup, Nick.
Dan, lock you again.
Just maybe for 5 or 10 minutes.
Yours.
Andrew continuing along his nice game. Perryman 1-2, Josh Dacos to go in. With the full 360, slung it forward. Cook picks it up the other way. Adelaide again through the middle of the MCG and Laird. Worrell, Neil Bullen has Chris to deal with and can't.
It's better for the Pies. You've got to come up and present. You just can't sit back here. You know Adelaide are going to run. They're going to share the footy. Made a great decision, Jack Chris, to come forward.
Chris. Emery didn't hear the call.
Got to be behind the ball.
Nick Dacos steps through a bit of traffic, side bottom. Grand final distance area is here for Steele.
They had to be holding the ball with Tim Embry. Yeah, granted he didn't hear him, but his play on.
So he got away with it because he didn't hear. He's got poor hearing. Take your time here. Side bottom. He can kick this goal, can't he? We've seen it before. Take your time, take the responsibility.
Elects just to drop it to the top of the square. Elliott from behind. Where's the small man? There's Waylon Schultz. Has to kick it. And Lucky Schultz does.
So you don't hear, you get a free hit, or you just main that you can't hear. I know we've got umpire mics here, and that's why we're screaming at him with his touch. So out there, clearly he doesn't know.
Well, he has to know. Murray knows. He's the one that's chasing after him. He's come over to the mark, or it's 50 metres. That's holding the ball every day of the week. But as a small forward, you turn up in the front and centre here. This man here's a very good small forward. It's an important goal for Collingwood.
So surely they're going to keep telling themselves at three-quarter time. We mentioned off the top, we know that Peatling and Cumming and Archie and Berry have all had interruptions. Saligo's had an interrupted. So the last 3 to 6 weeks they've had soft tissue injuries. Archie's had 2 hamstrings. You've just got to hope that they stop running to some degree, the Magpies.
They pitched a couple late.
The Crows.
They have been the team to come from the clouds the last couple of years, the Pies. Cook trying to do something to stop that. Drops it forward. Houston sweeps it to Crisp. How long? Ignored the overlap. Perryman. So it's a task from McCreary. Adelaide had 3 to 1 there.
Good Cook. Been really clean. Cook loved his game.
They give up some ground.
Adelaide can't fall back into the trap of just going around the Collingwood defence. Still got to pierce it.
When he takes some meters. When in doubt, kick the big Riley.
Going quickly into Riley, trying to catch him on the hop. He's got one-on-ones inside 50.
Quality deep with Quainer for company. He split it a bit wider. Walker was out on Maynard. Not paid, plays on, takes around the corner, misses. Big missed opportunity.
Did he think they hadn't paid the market?
Umpire told him he paid the mark, he played on.
Right. Dodge the bullet here. They've got to try and get this back under 30 points by three-quarter time. Got to get at least one more, you think.
Check Texas hearing as well.
Well done, Chris. Murray. He's a big water. Try and burst through.
Had their best 3 or 4 minutes for a while, the Magpies. Just got a little bit of space now.
Oh, another handball save here.
They've taken her off side bottom. He threw his hand back in frustration when he was being held, and he connected in the wrong region. And Rochelle, who let him know about it.
Let's have a look at it and see whether it's going to draw the attention of anyone else.
I think it was Bond, who's now holding his midriff. Chris, umpire ducks underneath it. McStay, one-on-one. Schultz brings it to ground level. Again, the Crows with the answers. Crowd starting to get invested now. Cook coming the other way. Parker.
A great 10 seconds of footy there for Max Michael. He was fantastic one-on-one deep.
They've got to engage this crowd, Jack, the Pies. The third chance here. He throws the arm back here, pretty aggressively side bottom, gets him around the side. Cool. You just don't need to do it. You don't need to do it. You don't need to have the question being asked of you.
He hasn't got a case to answer, though, Gaz, does he?
He missed, I reckon. I reckon he might have missed, but they've got to be smarter. He is a smart man. Okay, so this is 2.5 minutes left. This is Collingwood's best 3 or 4 minutes. They've got a little bit of momentum. They've found a little bit of space. They've got to get the crowd engaged and try and get this under 30 points.
Free kick, Nick Dacos, right in front of the Collingwood crowd.
And now they're starting to hum a little bit. There's a little bit of run.
Can they pinch one here? Piercing ball. Oh, coming in from the side was spectacular from the Crows defenders. It was coming. He just had no respect for his own situation.
We're not going to like this. I'm happy here, Howie.
So from Adelaide, they need some maturity about this as well, the Crows. They just don't have to go that quick right now with 2 minutes on the clock or less than.
Well positioned at ground level. Parker. Side bottom. They're pressing here, Collingwood. Been a tough term. McStay needs to bring it to ground. Does. Fist at 30 metres away. Fogarty overruns it. Nick Dacos. Perryman ends up with side bottom. 55 out. Assessing his options. Goes short. Shoots on the stretch.
No free kick.
Umpire says play on. Pies fans rabid.
Now they're up out of their seats, Howie. It's been a pretty slow burn for them all night. First half, no one got out of their seats. There was nothing to get excited about.
Had to be there, though, Gaz. This is a free kick every day of the week. He's chopped his arms.
Oh, he missed.
Frampton, big, solid bump. Still they press. McAndrew, what a night he's having. The tall ruckman, or Phil Thorpe, crunches one of his teammates in Pedler. Quaynor, can they get a mark inside 50? Finally!
what they need here, the big fella. He's probably at his colours lowered, you'd have to say, given some of the centre-bound stuff that's been going on. But he does sneak forward. He can kick a big goal. And I tell you what, with 30, will probably be 10 seconds left on the clock by the time he kicks us. If he bags this and he gets it back to 25 points, 80,000 are going to get out of their seat. Game on.
One behind from set shots for the evening. Darcy Cameron to take it back to 25 points from tight in the pocket. Will take his best, the ruckman. Wrong side of the big stick.
I've seen enough in the last 5 minutes here, guys, from Collingwood to know that they can play the modern brand of footy. It looks so much more free-flowing from them. They'll need a lot of that in this last quarter when it comes.
Well, it makes, for the first time tonight, though, there's been a little bit of, I won't say panic, but they've felt some real genuine pressure, Adelaide. They've made a couple of blues along the way. That's what happens when you can take it on a bit. Oh, here we go.
6 goals to 2. The way of Adelaide in that turn. They turned a 3-point lead into a 30-point margin. Pikes fans, look at that young chap. He's getting a touch feisty. They need the chance to take them. But Adelaide at this stage, they're well in control. Phil Thorpe has kicked 3. Adelaide Crows leader by 5 goals, 3/4 time at a fiery MCG.
All right, there we go. It's the Crows at 3/4 time by 30 points. 11-10, 76. The Magpies 6-10, 46. The Crows putting on 6 goals, 5 in that third term. 2 goals to the Magpies. I tell you what, the Crows started to open up the Maggies for, let's just say, 3/4 of that third quarter. The Pies struck back with a goal. Look like they were getting their game back together. I tell you what, it looks like the scoring end the Pies are going to in the last quarter with 30 points the margin. I'll tell you what, it's a big margin, but we've seen it before. And these games always go down to the wire between the Pies and the Crows. Probably the average margin around 12 points. So I expect the Magpies to come back here, get a bit of a run on. Will the Crows tire a little bit? Been their first game of the season. Of course, the Magpies playing last week. We'll just have to wait and see, won't we, folks? 30 points. It does look like a telling margin, but funnier things have happened. We've seen him come back. All right, let's have a quick gander at the goal scorers at 3/4 time. Rolly Thilthorpe, the bearded Burbler, he's up to 3 goals. Isaac coming on 2. Saligo, Rochelle, Pedler, Neil Bullen, Fogarty, Cook. They're all singles for Adelaide. Of course, for the Maggies, Rowan Steele is 2. The only multiple goal scorer. Lockie Schultz bobbed in with 1. Bo McQuarrie, Dacos and Cripps. The goal scorers, leading possession getter. Nick Dacos out there, a bit quiet in that third term. A little bit quiet. He's just up to 28 with 18 kicks, 10 handballs, 4 clearances, 1 goal, 2. Miller for the Crows leads the way for them on 24 disposals, 15 kicks, 9 handballs, 4 marks to tackle and a clearance. Josh Worrell next best on 23. Dan Houston, 22. Jack Crisp, 20. Rory Laird on 20. There we go. Let's just roll down. Rochelle on 19. Neil Bullen on 19. Also there for the Crows. Lipinski on 18 for the Maggies. Josh Dacos, 17. Still side bottom, 15. Quaynar, 15. Perryman, 15. Jordan Dawson, he's only up to 16 at the moment there for the Adelaide Crows. We just keep on rolling down there. Darcy Cameron, 14 touches, the ruckman. 10 hit-outs, 7 clearances for him. Rolly Thilthorpe, where's the big man there? The big bearded Burbler. As I said, 3 goals, 1 his score. He's had 12 possessions, 11 kicks, 1 handball. He's had 6 marks. He's been grabbing the ball well. And a clearance. Jordan Nagoli, a bit quiet this evening, folks. Just a 12 disposals. Same with Lockie Schultz, just on 11. The Tex hasn't yet scored a major, but still 10 possessions there. Let's roll on down. We'll be back to the game in just a moment. There we go. Jordan Butts just on the 8s with keys for Adelaide. Who else have we got there? There we go. Billy Frampton, 3. Jamie Elliott's only had the 2 touches, 2 kicks. That is it for him. All right, let's just head back over to the scoreboard. Let me just have a little bit of a look at the other game. 25 minutes into the final quarter up there at Sydney. And of course, it's the Sydney Swans. The Lions coming back a little bit, but the Sydney Swans are going to be far too good for the Brisbane Lions. 15-12, 102 is Sydney Swans. The Brisbane Lions, 8-12-60. That's 25 and a half minutes into the final quarter, I should say. So Sydney are going to go on for a good victory there. All right, let's head back down to the action. Come on, Pies, let's come back and make a good game of this one. Let's head back down to the ground where it's the Crows by 30 points.
But at this stage, the Crows have got the answers. 5 goals in the first half. The Adelaide Crows, Cam Mooney, 6 in the third term. How'd they get rolling?
Well, whatever Matty Nick said at half-time, Howie, worked an absolute treat, wasn't it? We spoke about at half-time, all Collingwood did, all Adelaide did in that second quarter was just kick down the line. Go safe, go wide, and we said we wanted to see something different. Well, this is what they did different. They took the game on, they ran, they carried the ball, and then they took the ball off the line. This is exactly what they would have been talking about. Be brave with the ball. Collingwood completely dictated terms in that second quarter, making them go down the line and be safe. Look at this kick from Michael Annie. Back inside. You called it, Jack. He had a chance to go wide. He came back inside. And that just completely opened the game up for the big man to walk straight down the middle of the ground. Mark that, kick a big goal. 6 goals to 2. Massive quarter. Have they got the legs, boys, to hold on? This is going to be a huge quarter.
But at the 37 points, Schultz kicks a goal, gets it to 30. The last 10 minutes was interesting. You could feel momentum shift. So Collingwood just started to control the ball and find some space. They weren't able to get absolute connection. The disposals were up. They had 4.5 good looks, 7 inside 50s. I mean, trying to make something of that. That's the issue, though. They're timing forward half for 7 inside 50s to 1. They've kicked 2 points from set shots. They haven't been able to connect anywhere dangerous, Jack.
Only 1 goal there, you can see in the last 10 minutes there. But it does give Craig McRae a blueprint coming into the third quarter break to actually go, boys, we can do this. We've shown in the last 10 minutes we can do it, and we must do it in this last quarter. Because if Collingwood go back to that Collingwood we saw in the first half and play slow football, they cannot win this game.
Nick Dacos starting forward, so inside forward 50 for the Magpies. I like it. He's been good, as he always is. 28 touches. He's kicked a goal, but if he can kick 2 in this last quarter, they're half a chance. He looms large, Riley Philthorpe. He's a monster. He's going to give the very best defenders in the competition a headache. And Billy Frampton's got his work cut out.
DeGo is the other one that's going to full forward as well, so they're loading up stars in the forward line.
Chips in. Michael Annie standing alongside Nick Dacos. Collingwood have won this 11 of the last 12 times the teams have met. Adelaide off to back-to-back final losses. They'd love to get the first here. Rochelle runs into a tackle, gets it away. Houston. Josh Dacos. Back to Quainer. The wax. Nothing really presents.
Oh. That's unlike Josh Dacos.
Warren up for his 24th disposal, going at 100%. Kicking efficiency. Maynard from behind. Cameron throws it on the boot. It's a reasonable bounce.
Straight forward for too long.
Bit of confusion there with Lipinski. Now they get it to Nick Dacos. Takes a bounce. Side bottoms ahead of the footy. All about the kick inside 50. Elliott stands off his man. Jamie Elliott on the left. Little dinky kick. Works out okay.
That was good by Jamie Elliott. He sort of put a foot in the ground and knew that he had to come back from where the tackle was coming to break it. Opened the game right up. Had to be clean and had to be strong. The little champ coming through the middle. You mentioned Gaz, he started forward. He gets up and he just works back harder than any player. But that there from Jamie Elliott is excellent footy IQ.
It's Lockie Schultz. This is a huge kick. Gets it back to 4 goals, and that's gettable. There's no question about it.
Time and time again, Collingwood have built their game on coming from behind. Schultz for the last 2 of the game. Does just that.
So high alert to the Adelaide Crows, the Adelaide coaching box. Matthew Nicks, wherever you are, high alert. Nick Dacos starts inside forward 50, and then he's going to wander up and just try and put his imprint on this game. And when he gets the ball run through the middle of the ground like this, more often than not, they will score and score heavily. So whoever it is that's got responsibility for him, be aware. If he goes, you've got to go with him, Jack. You can't let him wander off from the inside 50 and do what he wants coming back the other way.
I think think there's an element of this sort of track and catch defence with him there, Gaz, that you can let him go right past into his own D50, but as soon as he comes outside of there, you've got to be bang on Nick Dacos's hammer, so he can't be running freely through the MCG.
So Michael Lanny, what's he do here? Is he going to go with him when he takes off Nick Dacos? He's a half back at the moment.
McAndrew again out of the middle. First goal of the set shot for the night for the Pies. McCreary overruns it. Cummings had a good night. Now Laird. Forward by hand. Saligo. Crows looking to respond to quieten the crowd and the Pies. Maynard. Nearly the juggler. Houston backs into trouble. Now Crisp. Here they go again. Collingwood. Lipinski ripped off the football. Dacos will need to be clean. Houston. They get out of trouble. Goes the switch to Steele, who's kicked a couple. Good contest in the air. Really good contest. Now there's a ball to be won. Cook does brilliantly. Throws it away into space. Houston immediately run down from behind. Steele gives up ground to Crane on a slight fumble at the wrong time. Taps it in front of himself. Game's gone up a notch here at the G.
Well, there's a few running up and down on the spot too, Howie. First hit out for the Adelaide Crows. Will this be another case of a team having a second hit out and coming home hard in this last quarter? Cook's been good for Adelaide.
Long do that to Fremantle earlier on. Saligo looked like he was in the first row, but he gets away with it. Rochelle, deep ball. Phil Thorpe, Frampton does well over the back. Peatling, oh, big miss.
Thought Archie was going to try and take a big mark there. He just sat off. It was excellent work down here on the boundary. Nick Dacos is just continuing to sneak up the ground there.
So Rochelle
got Rochelle now.
He's come up from the forward line to go to him.
Houston got himself out of his problem.
They're trying to be a bit brave here, trying to generate run from the back half. First goal came from the back half, which is a great result.
Crisp on a short, sharp lead.
It's a brave kick. On the left foot, if you don't mind, from Steele's sidewall. He's on again. You've got to go with these blokes, Adelaide.
Poking their way through the Crows' defence at the moment. Pendlebury lays it off. Josh Dacos, not the distance. 4 short kicks now. They pull the trigger. Schultz makes good position. Got the runners at ground level. Allen, Cameron, thought about the hand pass to Nick. Just should have given it to Nick. Walker. Dacos overruns it. Tex puts his head down. Got one high.
Wake up for a poor handball there. Tex Walker was clean at ground level the second time around. Pretty couple of Adelaide players stretching out calves.
There's a bit of cramping going on, Jack.
Nicely weighted to Rochelle.
So this is the fit blokes earn their money here. You've got to be able to continue to run and present.
Turnover. Collingwood with the momentum. Pendlebury thinks. Runs a little ring to Josh Dacos. Brilliant kick. That to McCreary. Bo needs to go back. He wants to get rid of it. He does get rid of it, and it works out there. Pies are coming.
That's Scott Pendlebury. 400 odd games and just meanders around and lets the play unfold. He gives out the perfect handball. Then Josh Dacos' vision to look on the 45 out of the left eye and see McCreary standing at the top of 50. He'd been there for ages as well. McCreary finds this man inside 50. Huge moment here.
Hasn't been Elliott's night, but can it be his moment? From 35 out, Elliott leans back, drives it home. 3 in a row for Collingwood.
Well, no, this is the question right now for everyone sitting around here and watching footy. They haven't played at all, Adelaide. Collingwood are into their second game. Adelaide have taken players in off an interrupted preparation. We've said it many, many times. It's Peatling, it's Cumming, it's Archie, it's Berry. You know, Saligo had the hard issue there. Interrupted first game, they've stopped. 35 possessions to 15. Josh Dacos has had 7 already, Houston 6 from the back half. They're running all over it.
That's what the Fremantle coaches talked about today. Playing a team that's played a game and they hadn't found it was a disadvantage to his team.
Real or not, they are charging in a big, big way here. 35-15 touches in this last quarter.
Big clearance. Cameron, he's had a tough night, but he drags out of the middle, sends it forward. Mark Spilt.
This is just referred pressure now as well. Darcy Cameron starting to get a little bit on top.
They're feeling it. The Pies are feeling it. They think they're a big chance here. It's a challenge from Adelaide.
Still 15 or so on the clock. Elliott streaks through. McCreary. Murray led with his head. Bond. Perryman needs to compete. Cameron does it even better job.
Well, the big fella into his spot where he needs to be.
Allen's got some toe. He uses it, and Allen.
Crows got to find some dare again. We saw it in that third quarter. They've gone back into their shell to some degree, all because of the pressure that's come their way from Collingwood.
Miller allowed to just waltz out of defence. Does go down the middle. Accesses the middle. Here's an opportunity for Dawson.
Stop though. They stopped.
Black and white jumpers trying to stream back. Good tackle applied on Michael Annie. Walker steps through a little hole. Low ball is beautiful. The big fella drops his mark. He's been great all night. Ed Allen puts it out in front. Memory's had a quiet night. Murray picks his pocket, comes back again. Big moments in this match. Archie, forward hand pass turned over. Side bottom, Neil Bullen, Chris, boundary.
Oh, Gaz, it's starting to heat up here now. There's plenty of big lock on the occasion. The drop mark from the big fella, he had it.
I think that might have hit him on the button.
Played in his first game. He could not believe that he was going to take a mark on his own with the game in the balance.
Hasn't kicked the goal, big lock in McAndrew. He's had a good night though. Allen starting to come into this game in the second half. Chris throws his body over the footy. Allen just punches it forward to a one-on-one. Oh, it's going to hurt them the other way.
It's so clean there.
Been good early shots. Yeah, he's been busy. Jack Bull is the nominal ruck at the moment. He's the one that's pushed deep. Now you back themselves in the air here.
Watch out for Thilthorpe. He's kicked free. He's out of this contest. Parker, Long, they sit over the top of it. Nervous times for the Collingwood defenders. Keys, Neil Bullen. Needs to be clean here, Perryman. Allen winds it round the boundary. Miller to get one in the back from Schultz, who's lifted. Little toe poke to the skipper. Miller, a nice little step. Gives it back to Peatling. Important kick coming up.
Oh, no!
Big Murray drops it.
In the back, surely.
Berry takes advantage at ground level. Side bottom's going to stand underneath it. Big Riley was coming his way. Neil Bullen with some magic. Goalkeeper's there.
Parker's got the foul for the goal scorer, but he's saved it. There's the two young boys, his third gamer and the first gamer, have both dropped one at the top of 50 for Adelaide. The pressure is on and the crowd are into this one.
Where's the run? Who's got the legs?
McCreary's got the run. Can he get around?
Wayne is out.
Worrell plays on to the number 3. Tex is pointing back. He needs men back. Needs to be pinpoint. Membry crunched. And a free kick. And here comes Tim Membry's moment.
Nick Murray just came up at the wrong time. He left Tim Embry out the back. And young Bond comes across to try and make the spoil, but infringes Tim Embry.
He's charging from the back half this ball for Collingwood now. So Dacos 8, Houston 6 from the back half. And Allen finding some footy. He's been quiet. Timmy Membry, Howie, he has had the solitary possession for the game. This is his moment.
Kick the last 3, Collingwood. Membry, massive moment in the game. The big unit from Terralgan to bring it back to 13 points. We can't grab the moment.
And we saw bad kicking here on Thursday night that cost Richmond probably 4 points and a win in round 1. Collingwood won't want to miss many more of those opportunities.
Got to score, Adelaide. They've got to score. They can't think that this is going to hold them in good stead. They've got to keep attacking.
Perryman puts his body over it. That's to Saligo. Now he's got a problem, Saligo. Steele, he's kicked a couple. Centering ball. Membry again, he's got 3 Crows to beat. He does it! Gets a second crack this Tim.
Wow, they all went up.
That's a good contested grab you'll ever see.
They all went down like 9 pins there. Tim Membry stood in the middle.
3 on 1, you're right, Cam. 3 on 1. When you know how critical the mark is. So you know that the defensive punches are genuine and he takes the mark.
And stay out. Turn back.
And a brave decision by Rowan Steele here. He had Nick Dacos to get the ball to.
Sucks in a big deep breath. Missed one moments ago, Membry. to bring it back to a 2-goal margin from directly in front. The number 28 hits it sweetly. Look out, Adelaide. Corner over Collingwood. 2-goal game at the G.
Five of the last 6 games. 5 of the last 6 have been decided by 10 points or under. We're going there again, Jack. It was always going to happen.
That's some incredible games here. And he mentioned Road Still. He had the champ Nick Dacos to give it to. 55 metres across the middle of the ground, 1v3. Thank you very much. Tim Membry stands up under huge pressure. Just a great little tap and then falls into his hand for a nice mark. And he misses one a minute beforehand and he kicks this one here importantly. 12 points, Gaz, here we go.
7 inside 50s, Collingwood. They kicked 3 goals too. The Crows have had looks. They've been inside 6 times. They've scored just 2 points. They're getting opportunity. It's who takes them.
Cameron v. Murray in his first game. Pendlebury in his 427th game. Nick Dacos takes a bounce. Long ball down the path of Tagoe.
Needed Jordan Tagoe to come at him then.
I'm not sure Adelaide, Gaz, have got the legs.
I get the feeling that they are feeling a pinch in a big way.
Yeah.
So Dacos has been used everywhere that they need him right now and asking a question as he always does.
Berry stands beside him. Tapped out the back. It's clever. Just thrown on the boot, just trying to clear the defensive area. Tex stands up. Good grab.
Only the 6th mark of the quarter. It's 50 metres now.
Got to score from this, Rickett. You've got a goal here. You've got your offside. Chasing backside on the way back. It's funny how quickly you can run back towards goal.
He's got a man out and hits him. And he's a magnificent kick, Fogarty. He's missed one, got his sider and kicked one.
It's nice they've done that tonight, Adelaide, where they've got the 50-metre penalty. They've all rushed forward, and the player with the ball's rushed forward as well. Excellent use. They've got a one-on-one, one of their big key forwards. This man here, one of the best kicks in the competition, needs to bring up goal 200 in his career.
First inside 50 mark for the quarter for them. Deep breath. Membry failed his first look at it. What's Fogarty do here?
To a chorus of boos. Big kick. He is a magnificent kick of the football and responds with his second to give Adelaide a bit of space.
They were struggling. They were stuck in their half of the ground here. The pressure was enormous and they got let off the hook with a 50-metre penalty. And here it is here. Some clash of heads with, who was that?
Worrell and Pendlebury.
Worrell and Pendlebury got over the right, but here's the 50. This took the pressure off him.
No one stood. The umpire called stand. When you've got multiple players in that spot, only one player has to stand. They all retreated. This man here is one of the best field kicks in the competition.
It's a big moment from the Tex too. He had to come up and present. He took the mark, and then Fogarty get it in the hands of him, and he'll do the job more than once. I'll keep asking the question. So 2 Dacoses and a Pendlebury in the middle with Cameron. It's a formidable foursome in there.
62,482 on the edge. Dacos, both overrun it. Berry gets it from the ruckman.
It's a big win for the Crows.
Winds it forward. Phil Thorpe on the lead. Can they finish off Collingwood here? The Crows. Valiant effort in defence. Pendlebury. Clever little hand pass in front of Steele. Taps it. Doesn't quite get the bounce. Quainer. Pumps it to Parker. They need to get a touch on this.
Good run from Steele and Parker.
Steele does well. Back inboard. It'll be off the boot of Murray.
Well, that's 3-on-1 at the ball there. He stuck his boot out, Murray, and kicked it out of bounds. They get another reprieve here, Collingwood.
Schultz does that. Runs his measure. Pumps it in low. Doesn't really favour the forwards. It's rushed through.
They certainly look to be covering the ground just a little bit better at the moment, Collingwood. Of course, that opening round game last Sunday against St Kilda.
Jordan, straight out.
The goal they kicked Adelaide gives them a few options though now, Jack. If they want to take a bit of time, maybe not now, but in a few minutes they can.
Side bottom outsized.
Finishes the kick.
Fogarty spins around. Frampton has his moment. Does well, does Billy. Well, they said he was grounded in the end. No damage done. Couple of hand passes. Houston is clever to Nick Dacos. Lead comes from DeGoey, a little bit too much on it. Squirts out the back. Still a chance for DeGoey. McStay doesn't look that mobile at the moment, the big fella. Out to Miller. Worrell Miller. Gee, that was calm under pressure.
Big ball here.
Houston punches it down. Saligo didn't really kick to anyone.
That was smart. He didn't want to kick it out of bounds. How it would have been a free kick.
Keys trapped. Quaynor. Collingwood will come again. Dodges around a teammate. Josh Dacos with his back to the footy. DeGoey. Miller has been huge, as has Worrell. They've held the defence together alongside Murray, who spits it out to Berry.
Got to pump the brakes here a little bit. Collingwood set up well defensively.
Come back this side. Oh, it's another 50.
Got a great match-up forward of the ball. Riley Philthorpe and Will Parker.
Going quick, young man. It's a disaster. 2 50-metre penalties when the pressure's on. Just relieves the pressure valve. Last time ended up in a goal. The goal here makes it mighty difficult. They've all retreated back. Some tired boys out there at the minute. Just doesn't really want to go to the contest. Has to now. Oh no, chip short.
It's clever by Bond. Good coverage coming back. Lipinski. Fogarty into Rochelli's head. Keys. Shins it forward. Back to Keys from the ruckman. Keys. Brilliant check side. Points to the crowd. Two big answers from the Crows, and now they're out by 23.
What about the hands for the big one? 211 centimetres, Gaz. They shouldn't be able to bend over like this. Rochelli was put the contest in. The ball spilled out. Adelaide have kept it alive. And this is an incredible pickup and handball from a man in game 3 at 211 centimetres.
It's matched by the goal. The goal from Keys is extraordinary. So McAndrew's had some moments in this last quarter that he probably don't want to see. But he'll want to see that, and Ben Keys will want to see that over and over again. That's a left foot banana running to the boundary. That's as hard as it gets, and it probably seals the game.
Right in front of the Collingwood faithful down there as well with the cello. Thanks very much, Ben Keys. Had a quiet night in the first half, Ben Keys, and has really stood up in this second part of the game.
Great response here. They've kicked the last 2 goals, having been challenged when they kicked 4 in a row.
Here goes Pendlebury. That's Keys' first goal against the Pies, and it's one he may well remember.
Got 15. Play on.
Great composure. They won another centre-bounce clearance when they needed to win a centre-bounce clearance. It's been the part of the game they've owned. 14-9. They had all the big guns in there, Collingwood. You know they were going to go all or nothing, and they've been able to control another minute off the clock here, Adelaide.
Keys, Houston in best position.
He's got to go. He just has to go. He's got one-on-ones ahead of the front.
There's no one in the middle of the ground. Crisp street in that direction now. Maynard has to play on. Crisp continue to his run. Yeah, well done, Peatling. Really well done.
Big win. You've got to go to the one-on-one in the middle in this instance. They had good coverage everywhere, and then he wins the one-on-one contest.
Slow first half. It's come alive in the second. Now Adelaide can afford to possess the footy. Keys plays on. Shelley stays down. Walker goes up. Pendlebury. Quaynor. Bombs out of defence. One-on-one. McCreery gets front position. Tackle comes from Butts. McCreery releases by foot. Dawson puts his head over the footy, and he's rewarded with a free.
So that's Butts on McCreery. If McCreery gets into open ground, he's in all sorts and he holds on. There's been some big tackles. Dawson made a massive one as well.
Move it on, play on. Yours. Stand.
This is what a couple of goals gives you. It gives you this luxury now where you can go back to Butts if you wanted to. He can just try and pick off. He should really go in the pocket there.
Walker from behind. Drives into Billy Frampton.
Stiff Frampton, wasn't he?
What word he was. Neil Bullen, cagey character, coming. Cameron has to go and does.
Stuck in the deep ones. You've got to run hard.
Live by the sword, die by the sword now. And it's paid against Parker. And this should be a set shot to put it beyond any doubt.
Well, you got to hand it to the Crows. You got to hand it to them. Third quarter, they cracked the game open. They kicked 6 goals to 2 and opened up a 30-point margin. They were challenged. Got back to 12 when Memory kicked that goal. And to all intents and purposes, we posed the question. It looked like they were running on empty. But they found a way, a little fortuitously with the 50, then Taylor Walker's able to find Fogarty to give him a bit of breathing space. And now this puts it beyond doubt. Should he kick this?
Sam Berry to seal it. Misses.
All clear. Protected area.
Goey stands in the middle of the MCG.
Yours.
They pump it long. Crispy under pressure. Does really well. Clever hand pass, Pendlebury. Warp speed now for the Pies. Quainer into the pocket. Elliott needs to whip round and kick it.
That was good movement from one end to the other. The handball from Jack Crisp was excellent. Hadn't even hit the ground and had already handballed it out to Scott Pendlebury.
Kick one in the term, Jamie Elliott. Clock continues to eke away. Bring it back with 3-goal margin. Give them a glimmer of hope, Collingwood. The number 5 hits it really well. Really well. 3 minutes, 3 goals.
Don't throw him into the argument about who you want cricket for your life. He's just clutch. He kicks the goals that need to be kicked. So, I don't know, 18 points. Stranger things have happened. You're going to load up in the middle of the ground. And then just got to take a risk. Got to be prepared to get absolutely cleaned up the other way from this centre bounce by going aggressively forward.
Actually, Pondergaz is why we've had to wait so long for Collingwood to take a risk. This is modern footy here as well. They've got it, obviously. Expect to see a bit of, I think Collingwood call it rodeo here. So they won't have many to the tackle. They want to keep the ball out and loose. Not only get one, they'll stand off. Try and force a free kick from the umpire.
They've done very well centre bounce here all night, the Crows.
McAndrew, a couple of Dacos in the centre of the MCG. Valiant effort from Nick. Neil Bullen forward. Phil Thorpe. Now passes to Frampton. Gets it away. Parker bashes it forward. Josh Dacos. Collingwood fans have got a glimmer of hope. Adelaide fans, they're nearly home. Laird needs to hit a target here. Michael Lanning, and they can slow it down. He doesn't. Fogarty somehow got rid of it and did it nicely to Walker. Cook. Neil Bullen's happy to take time off.
Yeah, smart by Neil Bullen. Does not need to rush. They don't need to score again, Adelaide. They just need time off the clock. Need to kick it backwards here.
Now's the 30 seconds for Cook.
He's a good kick too, Cook.
He's had a good night. He's been busy. He wins important one-on-ones when you're watching the game and you see it's a one-on-one contest. It's really significant. He tends to emerge with it. He's had a very good night.
Kicked a goal tonight as Braden Cook alongside 17 disposals to completely put it to bed.
Now Josh Dacos can fire a talk down the middle of the ground with 1.5 minutes on the clock.
Takes out a 19 now. He plays on. Looks towards Quainer. Over the back long. Look at the run coming from Nick Dacos through the middle. He didn't use him. Put it out in front of Degoe. Lipinski, all about the bounce. McCreary from 55 won't make the distance.
We'll worry Jordan Dawson down here at centre-half forward. That was a huge contest. Came down on his back.
So Calarchi behind the footy. Have they turned this last minute and a half just for a bit of extra protection? Keep an eye on Jordan Dawson for it. He's up and about and Jordan Mitchell this one.
Brave win. This is a great win for the Crows.
Yeah, come here and beat Collingwood, who have had their measure in those close games that we talked about. They have won 5 of the last 6, the Magpies. So to come here and win, which they weren't able to do last year, they lost by 10 points. And they just thought that maybe they were a little bit off it. They come here today and after a pretty stodgy first half on both sides, they've demonstrated good signs.
Schultz plays on, gives it a Nick. Clock stops 32. Good finish, but looks too late for the Pies. Nick Dacos, well, he's kicked 2-2 and had 33 disposals.
I reckon he'd probably... Miller has been outstanding. He's had his best ever game, I reckon.
Yeah.
He's been in the back half that stood up really well. He's found that much of the footy, and they have been aided a little bit at times by having the outnumber, but he's been superb. The highest rated player, Dacos, third highest rated on the ground.
That's an important win for Adelaide. They get Isaac Rankin back next week after suspension. Yep. A couple other big superstars. Curtin hasn't played. Won't see him for a little bit.
Mark Keane, who's so important to their side.
From in a Moonboot pre-game gas out there, so he's a little bit away too.
You take on the Dogs too, Adelaide. They're red hot.
That's next Friday night. That has got blockbuster written all over it.
That's in Adelaide as well. Phil Thorpe, he's kicked 3, can't gather it. Texas tried hard all night. Perryman restricts him. Shelley, good use of the body by Parker. Tries to clear defence. Cook lays it off. Mark taken just before the siren. So a little bit about the margin, but Adelaide, they stood strong in the face of a Collingwood surge. One game, one win for the Crows. Margin to be determined.
Pick 11 goals, 10 from turnover, the Crows. There's your story right there. Once they got a bit of momentum and heat on the game, they looked a really formidable force. This bloke's had a good night, Alex Newborn.
He's having a shot with his song being played around the MCG. Neil Bullen can't quite finish it. But it's a big win for the pride of South Australia. The Crows by 14 points.
Take this all day long. This Adelaide Crows team will take this all day long. You know, the Pies, there's a story around the Magpies too, and what happens forward of the ball for them particularly. They looked all over the shop in that first half. They ended up having 49 inside 50s apiece. Oh, sorry, 59 inside 50s to 55, but they just couldn't connect. So they've got work to do there. But it was 3 points to margin at half-time. It was 5 goals to 4. It got cracked wide open when Adelaide decided to get on their boat, on their bike and move the footy off the line. And then, as they always do, the Magpies, they don't give in. They kick 5 of the last 7 goals, closed it down to 14 points. And I just, having watched footy, and it's only got an opening round of 4 or 5 games, just don't know how Collingwood are going to play and what sort of style they want to play. So they were a bit... uncontested mark game against St Kilda got the result. They were pretty conservative in this first half, or first 3 quarters particularly. So Craig McRae will go to work on that. They got split open once some real pace on the ball was there from the Adelaide Crows. And he'd be delighted with that. Let's go down to Cam Mooney with a man who towers over him.
He does tower over me. And Riley, you just said then, that was a good feeling. How good?
Great feeling. The boys come out in round 1 as they did, and Pies had a game on us. So for us to come out of the gates really hot was really pleasing. We played a really team game, and just so pumped.
Let's talk about that second quarter. They made you go wide. They made you go slow. Just wasn't like the Adelaide way. You came out at half-time. What was said? Completely changed.
Yeah, I don't know, mate. We tried to take the ball on, tried to go into our shell a bit. I think we did that a bit in finals last year, sort of stopped playing to win and played not to lose. So we wanted to keep taking the game on. I thought the backs were unbelievable, hitting the shorts and intercepting.
Mate, just what does this mean for this club, though, to come over here, round 1? As you said, they've already played a game, and there's all that talk about the team coming into round 1 that hasn't played a game. Do they have the legs? What does that mean?
It's huge, mate. To start off like that, a great team win, it's going to lift all the boys when we're ready for round 2.
What about the big fella in the middle, Big McAndrew? How was that going?
He's pretty long. It's pretty tough to get over him, the big fella. Big stretchy. I thought he was really good today. Awesome club debut, and he's one of my housemates, so I've been taking him on my wing a bit.
Hang on, he's your housemate. When did all this happen?
Back when he first got there. He wasn't signed. I was going to play with the sample. He was going to stay for 2 weeks, and I've had him for 2 years, so can't get rid of him.
Just one of those guys you can't get rid of, mate. Congratulations. What a great game, brother. Mate, you must be super proud of the effort, mate.
Yeah. They were fighting back at the end there, and I'm glad the boys held in, so it was just an absolute cracker. The boys fought well.
Did you think you had the gas in the end as a group?
Yeah, we had a massive pre-season, so I felt like the boys had the legs, and overall
came out on top.
And like, how special is this? A boy from New South Wales in Sydney. You grew up playing rugby union, and all of a sudden you're here on the MCG playing against one of the best ruckmen in the competition and doing a pretty good job.
Yeah, the atmosphere was intense. So, couldn't have asked for a better first game for the Crows, and hopefully plenty more to come.
Let's talk about that beautiful little handball that you dished down there for basically the winning goal. I mean, that was just over the head. Had it all going today.
Oh, yeah, just give it a keys. He slots them every day of the week, so love playing with him, and it's been fun.
Is this a dream, brother?
Yeah, that's it. Soaked it in when I first walked out, and it's been absolutely ripping match. So,
Oh, mate, go and enjoy it with everybody, mate. Well done, brother.
You're watching Super Saturday Live, brought to you by Toyota. Footy's back. Oh, what a feeling. And Adelaide, they have come so close to defeating Collingwood at the MCG in recent years. Tonight, they have done it. 14 points over the Pies. The perfect start to season 2026. David King, Jack Rewalt, Jake Clark. What a win on the road for the Crows.
Oh, great win. I mean, they're without Isaac Rankin, who's probably their most important player. Their fullback's going to be missing for half the season in Mark Keane. Curtin's not there. Hinge is not there. They just had to find a way to win on the road, and you need the stars to straighten you up and to correct you. And the key moments in the game, I thought Dawson was really strong. Rochelle had his moments, but this back line, under enormous pressure, they stood firm.
Yeah, they did.
It's a big win, Jack.
Yeah, they did. And they had some players who'd come in sort of underdone. Peetling and Cumming, certainly a couple of those. Saligo as well with a heart issue. So to run out the game and get over the line through really important moments late, which they all got goals from. The third quarter was where they just blew Collingwood out of the water. They played fast and Collingwood was stuck in slow mode.
Yeah, frustrating night, for the Collingwood side too, Cass. Some late 50-metre penalties. That'll be the discipline and getting across that. That would be very high on the whiteboard for Craig McRae and his crew, but those forward issues continued for the Collingwood side.
I think it's the best game I've seen Neil Bullen play for a while. I mean, we saw him at his best at Melbourne when they were up and flying. Through that premiership sort of run, that era, around that sort of 2021 season, but he was terrific tonight. I just thought his work rate, his ability to put pressure on, but still get close to 30 touches for that role is incredibly difficult to do, given the supply that they sort of had at times, where they come in chunks. I thought he was a solid contributor all night. In the end, he has 12 scoring involvements. That sort of player, that's an outrageous return.
Great how they were able to halt the momentum of Collingwood in that fourth quarter. We were starting to think, oh no, is this going to be another case of opening round, and those teams who haven't played in opening rounds being disadvantaged, coming and facing a team that has played an opening round. But kudos to the Crows. They held firm, were able to halt that momentum, kick a couple of goals and finish the job here at the G. Good Crows support at the G tonight as well. They were pretty loud. I mean, it's tough going against the Magpie Army, but they've got plenty of support on the road, and you can imagine fans in South Australia watching on right now, proud as punch, because as you said pre-game, Jack, they had to stew on that straight sets finals exit all summer, and now they've got a little revenge and started perfectly in 2026.
What a great test. I mean, what a great test after you roll out, finishing top of the ladder in straight sets. You had the whole summer to think about it. There is no greater test than, I reckon, Collingwood at the G. And Adelaide have struggled at the MCG over the last 5 years, but they come here and they beat Collingwood in a game where it wasn't just, they didn't just roll over Collingwood, they were challenged all over that back of that second half there, and then they were able to come through with some really pivotal moments late in the game. So certainly for Adelaide, they were singing this one with gusto.
They've got some presence in their team, the Adelaide Crows as well. I think all neutral fans love watching Riley Thilthorpe in action. Fifth highest rated player in the competition last year, and he looks like he's just picking up right where he left off. 60 goals last year. How many can he get this year? 3 tonight, but this is the best moment of the week, isn't it? As past players, you can comment on this.
It's a very tall winner circle, isn't it? It's a very tall group in there. Could be the tallest we've ever seen.
What do you think's the median height there?
I think they're worried about the words. Have a look at them. A bit nervous. It's a great feeling. I mean, this is a great start to the season. When the fixture comes out and you see Collingwood MCG round 1, no Rankin, and then you get a whole host of injuries through the pre-season. This is a massive result. I think
what a teammate he is.
A tactical win. He's doing it all but pay for it at this stage. But I think this is a huge win for this football club that had swallowed some disappointment last year.
Let's listen to the song. and rightly so. A 14-point victory over Collingwood here at the MCG. They head home next, and Adelaide Oval is going to be packed because it's a Friday night blockbuster against the Western Bulldogs, who have started 2026 red hot as well. So that is going to be one of the matches of round 2 to look forward to. If we take a look back to the final quarter, Jay, and you did mention there are a few moments in that last quarter which really swung the game, and it was the 50-metre penalty for the stand rule, which was a little bit contentious.
It's been a massive talking point in recent weeks, certainly. So Collingwood was on the charge midway through this last quarter. They cut the deficit to 12 points, and then there were 3 Collingwood players close to the mark. They all moved. No one stood. The umpire said stand, and there was no Collingwood player on the mark. So the umpire paid the 50-metre penalty and ended up, Kingy, with a Fogarty mark on the boundary line 40 metres out.
Luckily, we finally got the vision for you, Jay. So it is our BP value play of the game, and let's just wait a few more seconds, and here we go.
Well, he's right. They kicked 4 goals in a row, cut the lead to 12 points. What's your verdict here, Jay?
Yeah, so this is a 50-metre penalty. This is what they've been saying for weeks, the umpires, the AFL. Someone has to stand the mark. But on that occasion, there was confusion. 3 Collingwood players all moved off, so the umpire in that situation has to pay the 50-metre penalty.
And that, for me, that conversion there is the reason why you win this game. They were coming. The crowd was involved. They were swimming against the tide with some umpiring decisions at that period too. The Magpie Army were going crazy, and let us know about that on the way out, most of them. But that was a huge moment for Fogarty, who hadn't had a huge night. It'd been a bit of a presence, but hadn't had a huge night. I hate to say it, but those 50s have an impact on a 4-point result.
You don't like that?
No, I don't. I just think, does it really change the game? Are you trying to gain advantage doing that? When there's 5 people around, 5 Collingwood players, no one really knows who to stand. We want them to just play. Let's let the players sort the games out. If you creep the mark, or you stand there and then you run off and you blatantly give away a 50, well, fair enough if you haven't stood still. But when you're in a group of 5 players, how are you to know? I know that umpires are being
someone has to stand. I mean, we're applauding the way the game's being played.
We don't want that separating our games, do we?
But whether it be the first quarter or the last quarter, it's the rule. It happened where it is. Someone has to stand. The players know that. So maybe the umpire's got to go stand. I don't know, stand McCreary, or put a name to it if you want to have
the umpire saying who's got to stand.
Well, then it's up to the players.
The teams that normally the closest player to the opposition player, he stands the mark. Whoever's closest, that's their job. It should be that straightforward, surely. The AFL wants this, Kingy, so to take that player out of the play, that's what creates the outnumber.
No one knows who's in the marking contest there.
It doesn't matter.
I know it doesn't matter, but think if you, as one of those Collingwood players, if you're not in the marking contest, you think you're entitled to retreat. If you're in the marking contest, you go, okay, I've got to stand. No problem.
They're all within 5. Yeah. So one of them has to stand. I understand that there's confusion. They've got 3 players there. It's up to someone to stand, whether it's 2 players that stand. Because at the moment, that is what's making the game great, the ability to have players stand. Otherwise, you're going to have players retreating constantly, and the AFL hates that look.
I disagree. I reckon the game has shifted dramatically over what I've seen the last couple of weeks. It's becoming an uncontested game. And I just think these 50s, the absolute stand rule, no problem. Got no issue with it. But that one there, I think we need to change.
I think Greg Swan did flag that, though. There were going to be some murky situations like that, because it is hard also for the players to hear when it's, 70,000 or odd, how many Magpie fans we had here.
12 points a difference, Kath, it was at that stage.
Yeah,
12 points, and they were coming hard.
It was a critical point, wasn't it? We are going to we love a guest on Super Saturday Live, and we tend to go the coaches, and I think we're going the coach again, Matthew Nix.
What's his voice like? Can he sing?
Benro did sing last week.
It's going to be hard to beat.
Yeah, it will be hard to beat. Matthew Nix, I think he's listening right now. How are you at karaoke?
Yeah, no good. I watched Bevo do it last week, and I said, gee, that'd be nice. Gee, it'd be nice to be able to stand there post-game and just break into a tune. But
now's your chance, Nixie, go on. What do you go to?
It'd be something husky, I reckon, wouldn't it? Especially at this time. No, it was a fair bit of losing my mind in the box and yelling and screaming, so I won't go into song just now.
What's the overriding emotion and thoughts right now? You must be proud as punch of your boys.
Oh, incredibly proud, yeah. Yeah, a lot of work's gone into it, off the back of last year. And we've had some cracking games against this mob where they've got the better of us. And, I guess we had a bone to pick for the way things finished off last year. So we came here wanting to get this one really bad. But we were able to lock in and just spend our time in every single moment. And even through that last quarter, there were moments, big moments where we were able to chat. Dawes was on the bench for a period, I reckon about 10 minutes to go, and it was like, okay, this is what we've planned for. Here they come. I think Collingwood champ was going up around the ground. It was exactly what we've spoken about. So for our guys to hang in there and get the job done, you could hear it in the song in here. They've enjoyed that one.
Next year, take us into the pre-game, because it sounds like you built it up off the back of how it finished against Collingwood last season. Just how personal was it between these two teams?
No, it's not personal. It's not personal at all. It's just when you have a rivalry, and we feel like this is one. We don't enjoy losing to them. We've unfortunately had too many of those over the last 5 or 6 years, or at least since I've been part of the footy club. So you get sick of doing that, and eventually you want to stand up as a group and you want to make a statement. So that's enough's enough. And tonight was a great step in that direction. And we know, we got massive respect for them because they're a very good side. But we're going to more than likely meet them again. So this is just a great start for us to a season that we're really keen to make amends on last year.
Next year was a slow start. The first half, only 3 points in at 32-35. What was the message at half time to get that third quarter going? You certainly looked like you started playing a little bit more freely. You came through the corridor and started to kick the ball through the corridor importantly as well.
Yeah, there's a little bit of a really important message at half time. We felt like we were doing a great job in the ground ball game. We had pretty good shape on the ground, so we had our opportunities, but we just found ourselves kicking the ball straight back to them. Whether that's perceived pressure, whether that's our first hit out for the season. We were just blazing away and playing into their hands. And so half-time was really about, hey, we've got a little bit more time maybe than we think we do. Let's be a little bit more composed with that footy. And maybe that's what played out. We're able to then take a few more marks, be a little bit more deliberate going forward. Maybe that opens up the corridor for us. I know they made a couple of small changes after half-time, from a shape point of view that they had in the first half. But our guys came out and executed for at least 10 minutes of that third quarter. That was as good a footy as we played in the game, and I think that sort of got back to a bit of where we were at last year when we were at our best.
Nixie, congratulations. You don't tag Nick Dacos, he has 33 touches. You clearly get the chocolates in the midfield battle. How did you plan to take on the midfield superstar?
The teleporter. Yeah. That's the best explanation I've heard of a footballer. He's such a player. We basically had a conversation around it that, he's a good player. Let's respect that. Let's understand it and not pretend he's not and think we can keep him to no possessions. But we got to do this as a team, and we spoke about it. If he has 30, then how damaging will they be? I guess for periods of the game we were a little bit concerned, but overall, we're able to do that as a group. And he had 30 plus. But we as a team were able to get the job done, and that's what it's all about. Unfortunately, we get judged on that as a club, as coaches, as what tactics. But I think you'll find a lot of clubs around the league will look at it the same way. You've got to be careful not to be pulled apart by someone you can't stop anyway.
Matthew, you've been one of those teams that had to sit around and watch opening round and watch a few the games of round one and finally get your turn tonight. What have your observations been of what you're seeing from the premiership contenders so far? We've seen some massive scores. You kicked nearly 100 tonight, but what have been your observations? What you think is going to win the premiership in 2026?
Well, it seemed early, I think, after round zero, where we saw a fair bit of that Sydney and Brisbane flavour. I think it's going to be pretty tough to knock those four sides off that are playing up there, and that is what it is at the moment. They've done very well through the draft. They've got super talent. Just seems to be one after the other. So it's going to be, you have your work cut out when you play against those sides, and that was round zero. I think it was a really high standard. The teams that went over and played them are very good sides. They've proved, some of them in this second round, that they've bounced back quickly. So we know we're going to play a lot of those teams. Unfortunately, that's the draw we got this year for where we finished last year. But if you want to win it, you've got to beat the best. The game seems to have sped up a little. I think we've gone to work on with the stand rule. We've gone to work on how you can exploit that and get the ball going a little quicker, and I think a lot of teams have done that this season.
Nixie, can we lock Isaac Rankin in to play the Dogs on Friday nights? Had a bit of a hamstring issue over the past month and obviously back from the ban.
I can guarantee you he won't be playing in the sandful. Hope he's watching. No, he's good to go. I mean, we're holding him back. Poor bugger. He's been that keen to play from September last year. So we can't wait to welcome him back in. He's done everything, hasn't missed a beat.
Next year, it's all about growth. Next time we have you on post-victory, we want a song.
Yep.
So you've got time to work on it till you join us again on Super Saturday.
I tell you what, if we get maybe 10 in a row, I'm happy to come on and help one out.
You said it now. You said it.
Wins that is, because I have had 13 losses in a row.
We were singing then. Have you got a song in mind?
Maybe a bit of Lionel Richie, Hello, or something like that. It's one that's...
Okay.
Wouldn't have picked you as a Lionel type of guy, but nice.
Yeah, I was thinking more Sweet Caroline or one of the classics.
Nice.
All right, we'll hold you to that, Nixie. Congratulations on the win tonight. All the best next Friday night. That should be huge.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Cheers.
Next Friday.
All right, folks, there we go. Game, set, match. We've had a bit of analysis. That was a coach, Matty Nix from the Adelaide Football Club. A little bit too strong tonight, Adelaide. 13-15-93 defeating the Magpies, 11-13-79. Thanks to the umpires making those couple of 50-metre penalties. That certainly swung the game, swung the momentum. Of course, as I said, the Pies were coming hard. It looked like they weren't going to be stopped, but the umpires certainly helped stop them, give them three. There's 3 free kicks where it just shouldn't have happened. There we go. All right. Thanks, Paul. Thanks, Manny. Thanks, everyone, for coming on in. But I've got to head this one off for now. Hopefully, we'll be back tomorrow with another game. Not sure which one yet. Not sure which one. We'll just have to wait and see. We've got, I think there's 3 games there tomorrow. Let me have a look. North Melbourne, Port Adelaide. Probably not that one. Melbourne, St Kilda. Probably not that one. Gold Coast, West Coast could be interesting tomorrow. May cover that. We'll see how we go. But if not, if we don't get onto another game tomorrow, the next game will be next Thursday night. That's going to be a cracking game. Hawthorn and Sydney. And then we've got Adelaide and the Western Bulldogs next Friday night. Next Saturday, there's Richmond, Gold Coast Suns. The Giants taking on St Kilda. The Dockers taking on Melbourne. Of course, on Sunday, Port Adelaide will take on Essendon, West Coast, North Melbourne, and next week, 4 teams will have a bye. That's Brisbane, Collingwood, Carlton, and Geelong. There we go. That was the game so far. All right, thanks everyone for coming on in, listening to the game. Unfortunately, the Pies didn't get up, but that's all right. Hey, we just love our football, and that's what matters. All right, folks, glass half full. Yeah, look, we've got to improve a bit. Hopefully we'll get our 2 good keys back. Got to fix up that forward line. They just looked a mess tonight out there. No real strong targets. Delivery was pretty ordinary. So still a lot of work for the Maggies to get done. Of course, the Adelaide Crows will be better for the hit out after today. All right, folks, that's me. Over now. Thanks for tuning on in. Till next time, ciao for now. We'll see you at the next game.